Hey, we're live. It is 12th of July, year of our Lord, 2023. This is the weekly Alaboom, the longest running, mostly weekly live YouTube thing, I guess. There is that Warhammer channel that may have started earlier, but I think that guy stopped going weekly. I don't know.
Lucky him.
Lucky him, right? Lucky him. Tonight's drink of choice will be A&W Zero Sugar root beer. I like a good root beer.
So do I once in a while. Even like a
Um,
good birch beer once in a while.
oh, good what beer?
Birch beer.
What's a birch beer?
It's like a root beer made with birch.
Well, root beer is made out of roots. Or roof, rut.
Birch beer is made out of the bark
beer.
Birch, I believe.
And the house has a rough. I'm saying that because Bookie Kid's listening and want to make sure she gets her in here laughs at my Midwestern way of speaking.
Yeah.
I
enjoy sarsaparilla once in a while.
A sarsaparilla. I've always thought isn't like it's like SARSAPARILLA.
I don't think there's an R in there.
I'm sure there is. I remember seeing it.
Could be.
Yep, sarsaparilla is
sarsaparilla.
Yeah, but it's just sarsaparilla is a group of plants that grow in tropical parts of the world. There are about 350 species, including Smilex officinanthus and so on and so forth. But sarsaparilla is known as the original version of root beer. The rich flavor comes from a tasty blend of roots and herbs.
Yes, they're very similar.
With a slight note of vanilla. Some claim our frothy treat is even smoother and creamier than root beer. All over times you say, pour me a sarsaparilla. That would be Louisburg cider sarsaparilla. Anyway, there you go.
Yeah, they're all similar. Sarsaparilla, root beer, birch beer. Very similar. Butter beer sucked. I had that once.
Well, isn't like the whole I was wondering because like Barks has bite, right? Because it has caffeine in it. I always wondered, it because no, that's the reason why they called it. They said Barks got bite. Yeah, and it's because it's got caffeine. And and root beer, whatever, normally doesn't. So
yeah, I'm not sure. It doesn't? Okay.
No, it doesn't. I mean, it's like caffeine free.
I did not know that. I don't drink much soda. So yeah.
I mean, it's weird, man. I used to never drink. I always used to say I can never drink diet soda. And now I mean, it's like I don't even notice the difference anymore. I mean, if I have a Coke, I'm like, I can't. I don't know. I don't really like Coke Zero. I'll drink it if I have to. I don't really like Diet Coke either. But man, I can drink like a Dr. Pepper Zero or A&W Root Beer Zero. Squirt Zero is pretty good drink. Yeah, I mean, but I just like soda. It's just
I like Diet Cherry Pepsi. That's pretty good.
You'd like I think then if you like Diet Cherry Pepsi, you would probably really like the if you can find it, the Dr. Pepper Cherry Zero.
Yeah, I've had it. It's tough to find here. You do see it once in a while, though.
Yeah, I'm way up. Stick H just said Lance's daylight always throws me off. Yeah, I mean, well, when you live way up north, I'm more tilted towards the sun than the rest of you.
Yeah, he's cold all the time. Well, no, I guess the summers aren't bad.
So my big news, if you're friends with me on Facebook, you might have seen this. My we had the dishwasher, started the dishwasher, went to bed. It didn't drain, so all the water in the dishwasher flowed out and ruined our kitchen floor.
Yeah.
All the laminate in the kitchen is all bubbled up. Yeah.
That's one
So
thing I don't like about the laminates.
I mean, thankfully I have insurance, so I mean I'll have to pay it.
Could have been worse.
My wife and I'll have to pay the deductible, but now I got to deal with, I got to get somebody in here to tear up the floor and check the subfloor to see if it's damaged and if that needs to be replaced, and check the bottoms of the cabinets that surround the dishwasher to make sure those don't need to be replaced. So it's just a giant pain in the ass.
You just said it was one cycle.
It was literally, I felt like I was walking into a wading pool when I stepped into it this morning.
That
it
much?
was like,
there's only like 3 gallons in a dishwasher.
I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't think it'll be all that bad though.
Well, the problem is
rip it up, dry it out, it'll be all right.
The whole top floor is the exact same laminate, so, and you can't like replace a portion of the laminate, right? I mean, it was put down 16 years ago. They're gonna have to rip the whole works out.
Yeah, probably,
and redo the whole thing. Which means I'll have to get everything out of there, and it's just what a pain in the ass.
Yeah. The joys of having a house.
Yeah. So what are you gonna do?
Besides, you got 2 kids. You don't need a contractor. Just give them a hammer and a pry bar.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Little Wonder Bar sledgehammer. They'll enjoy the sledgehammer.
I'll say this, man. I mean, like I said, cause we've done the flooring down here, and put it in and whatever, and I've gotten, in my opinion, reasonably good at putting in
TC
flooring.
Pro
But but the reason why you have to pay, you go and you look and it's like, oh, how much is it to pay for installation? And then they always quote you at something like, $4 a square foot or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
paying a person's wage. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, so it's like, okay, well, I'm just throwing that number out. I don't know exactly what it is.
That's
but I mean,
right. Yeah.
But you're talking about probably 700 square feet upstairs. That's $2,800.
Yeah.
So I mean, but it'll be nice to have somebody else do it. I won't have to lose my mind.
Yeah.
So, oh my gosh, who moved the rock? Look who it is in the flesh.
What is up, gentlemen?
Oh my gosh. And you're visiting the friends. It's Central Perk, I see, and I hate myself for knowing what that's from.
You should. I was just watching something. They're tearing down that lot that Friends was made on. The whole lot.
Get rid of it all. They probably made other stuff there too, but nobody cares about that.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of stuff. There was WandaVision, not the monster, the Partridge Family. There's a few of them from the back in the day that was there. Trying to remember what else. I can't remember offhand.
No.
Getting rid of it all.
So
what you been up to, Keith?
Yeah, I'm Keith. Who moved the rock, man? What's going on?
Well, I was actually just laying in bed and looking for something to watch on YouTube before I went to sleep, and I saw the boom pop up, and I'm like, wow, it's summertime, and I don't have to be up at 5 a.m. on Thursday morning right now, and I have time to go say hi to my old friends. So I came to say hi. But yeah, Wednesday night's bad for me during the school year. My daughter joined the high school.
It's not the school year though.
Right. That's why I'm able to slide in here and sneak in. But my daughter joined the high school archery team as a freshman last year.
Oh, really? That's cool.
And 5 a.m. practices every Tuesday and Thursday from September until the end of May.
That sucks.
Because they had to practice all that time for their regular meets, and then they went to state, and then they went to nationals, and yada, yada, yada. So the season lasts forever. And because the archery team is the stepchildren of the high school sports. They have to practice at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
because the gym has to be reserved for the real athletes during after school hours.
What do they use? Keith Compound?
Yeah, the school archery, it actually runs all the way in the competitions from elementary through high school. And they all use, no matter the grade, everybody uses the exact same bow. They all use the Easton Genesis bow. And so it's a 30-pound compound bow that is identical for every competitor, so that there are no advantages for equipment for anybody.
Right.
So that's how they kind of play it, and that's what they do. So the daughter was busy with that, among other things. My son was first year of college this past year, so
Oof.
it's been a crazy year. So
Sure.
Will you be able to attend 2 weeks from now when we do our Gen Con review?
I might be able to do that. I mean, my finger is so far off the pulse of anything board gaming related right now that it might as well be up my own tail. But sure, make sure you remind me in a message so I don't forget. But I can make that happen.
All right, cool. Because yeah, it's not the same without you emceeing it. So
Yeah, and I do miss everybody, but it's been busy time with stuff. My board gaming's been very limited for the past 3 years basically. I played one game only for almost a year just to get through it. And then we're finally able to play some other stuff now.
what game was that?
It was the Descent, the latest Descent game. My friends and I really liked it, and we played through the whole campaign. So we enjoyed it quite a bit. It was something that when you're only able to meet every so often, I literally left that game set up on my table for like 5 months. So that's how little I didn't play anything else. And we just played that whenever we were able to get together. But more been playing the video games, since those are at will and don't have to schedule around everything else, and play what I feel like playing there. It's been Diablo of late, but whatever it was before that I played, I can't remember. But a little bit of everything in there. But I don't think I've seen you guys since I saw Lance at BGG Con last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
It was good to see you.
I did see our good friend Aldi back in May, into April actually.
Yeah, you
Actually
mentioned it.
went down and hung out with the Poobah for a few days. Had a good time, played some pinball and stuff. He's under the weather, so he's probably not going to show up tonight, is my guess. Feeling a little rough after the cruise, I think. So
Yeah.
he's recovering. Otherwise, how are you two?
Can't complain.
Yeah, just life, man. Just tired.
Yeah.
Tired.
Barry's looking good.
What's that?
I said Barry's looking good.
I am.
Yeah.
Think you need your eyes checked.
Nah, I think you're looking good.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what the doctor says tomorrow.
Lance looks like Lance, so
yeah, he does.
we won't
Always
leave.
grumpy.
We'll just leave that out there on its
I
own.
don't. Yeah, I just. Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's.
Well, that Lance has never looked bad to me. We'll put it that way.
Well, no. I mean, I'll take. I'll take. I mean, the fact that I stay the same. You know, I mean, I see the gray in the beard, but everybody else.
Oh yeah, your beard's gray as shit, but it's been gray for a while.
Like I said, every once in a while you get a comment on a really old video, and I click on it, and I see that young me, and I'm like, oh, what happened?
Yeah, my hair's all just evacuated my head. Just said to hell with you, I'm done.
Did as what is it? Drew Carey said it's like the hair, the hair. You know, it migrates to your ass.
yeah. The hair works its way from the top of your head to the crack of your ass.
Yeah.
That's exactly that's TMI for everybody. Let's face it.
And then they lay seeds on your back on the way down. You know, just like good stuff. No, man. I mean, there's really nothing to say. I mean, we've been just doing our thing, hanging out, saying hi, doing
Yeah.
whatever. Um, just still hanging out. I mean, I'm just getting ramped up for Gen Con. Are you going to Gen Con this year?
Probably not. I didn't buy a badge. I didn't plan anything.
Me neither.
And I mean, it's an hour from me. I know that's sad, but it used to be the there are two big things for me for going to Gen Con. One was going up to see friends, which I can still do. I don't know who else is going to be there. And two was to go up and buy a bunch of cool new board games and stuff like that. Man, I haven't even checked I don't even check what board games are coming out monthly anymore. I've just got so much stuff that I don't have time to play it for the rest of my life, let alone do I need even more of it. But I buy the occasional new game when I see something that interests me. But I've used the big game of that, that came out. I guess it was into last year. When did Frosthaven come out? Right, big ass giant box, heavy as hell.
Yeah.
I finally punched Frosthaven Saturday
Did
and
you?
put it away. It's been
Hmm.
sitting in its shrink forever without being touched. And I didn't even consider playing it. I just finally got the initiative up to punch the stupid thing. So that's how little motivation I've had overall, just for, basically anything. There's a lot else in the world that demotivates me for a lot of stuff. So it's not been the best of the past year or two. Um, since the pandemic, everything's been kind of just but again, also busy with family. But the kids are doing well. I'm proud of the kids. They achieved better than I ever did, and that makes me proud of them. My son finished his first year of college. He's on the autism spectrum, went to college 4.0 all through his first year of college. Um, I never sniffed a freaking four anything because I didn't work hard enough. And that feller goes to college with, a disability that he has to overcome, and puts up a freaking perfect score, makes a president's list 2 semesters. So pretty proud of him.
Nice.
And my daughter, freshman in high school and doing band and archery. So she's getting out of her shell a little bit, doing some other stuff. And she puts up her first year's GPA's adjusted 4.606 or something ridiculous like that.
Mm.
And so she's killing it academically and starting to get out of things socially a little bit better. So it's good to see your kids do better than you did, and take their academics more seriously than you did,
Yeah.
so that they're setting themselves up for the future, hopefully.
Definitely.
So that's kind of been the priorities, taking care of them and other stuff. And
Hey Keith,
yeah,
has your son ever thought he lived differently than other people? Like, does he consider the disability a disability?
yeah, he knows things are tougher for him, and
Okay.
so, but it's fine. He knows he's got the maturity of a 12-year-old basically, and he doesn't care. Um,
Okay.
he, but like he is doing better. He's developing more empathy towards other people, and he's considering other people's feelings more, because those social cues are really tough for him,
Yeah.
and he's starting to pick up on those things more, and he's becoming more sensitive to how other things are and caring about other things, thinking about things other than himself, which is good to see him grow out of some of that. He knows what things are struggles, and he has accommodations for the autism spectrum. He had them in high school. He has it in college, where he's allowed to take tests in a smaller setting instead of being overwhelmed. And if he needs to walk away from class because he's getting overwhelmed or upset, he's allowed to do so. Things like that, and he knows to take advantage of those things as well. So, but I mean, he's a happy. I call him a kid, even though he's 19, but he's a happy kid overall.
Hmm.
He knows exactly what's going on. he's got some, feelings. He's done some. They have free counseling at school, and he's talked to people while he was at college because he's got some pain from when he was in middle school and had bullies call him a retard and stuff like that because he was different, even though he's putting up a freaking 4 burger and they're putting up probably a 2.8 or something at best. You got these morons that just pick on other people to try to boost themselves up, but that hurt him when he was younger, but he never really talked about it to us until more recently. And the thing I look at is those kids can't carry your jocks on. Don't worry about them. You're way more intelligent with them than them. You're way more successful in what you're working at, and those people don't matter. And but people don't. He's got to college, and later in high school, he's got to college, and people don't pick on him. People are nice to him, because now he's around human beings instead of middle school kids. Because middle school kids are the biggest piece of shits on the planet.
They are.
I mean, when I was in middle school, I was a piece of shit. When I substitute taught, man, they were the devil. That middle school age is when they have no empathy for anybody, man. Middle school is just a hell. My daughter struggled in middle school because not that she got picked on, but she had friends that got picked on, and that hurt her because she's extremely empathetic because of her brother. And she gets real defensive when she sees anybody pick on any kind of autistic kid or any kind of kid that's different, because that's her family, and that's just like they're picking on her brother. And that really goes through her, pisses her off, gets her upset. She'll get really emotional about it. And my daughter's got the mouth. Oh, she's got a mouth.
Of her dad?
Probably worse than me right now.
Really?
Yeah, she's 15 years old, and that F-bomb's her favorite word, and she doesn't care who the hell hears it either.
My favorite adjective too.
Oh, yeah, once she realized she could say in front of us and not get in trouble, man, that's her favorite word.
I have a cousin who's on the spectrum, and I remember having a conversation with his brother. I was up the mountains when I had my cousin who has autism chopping wood with me. Right. And my other cousin came out freaking out. I'm like, well, if you treat him like he is handicapped, he's going to act like he's handicapped. He can chop wood. It's safe. I'm with him. Told him not to cut his feet off, how to stand. He's good. It's and then me and my cousin who has autism had a conversation, and he's like, yeah, they treat me like a kid sometimes, and this and that. He started opening up to me about it. But I asked him, he's like, no, I don't think I'm disabled. He's like your kid was saying, it's tougher on certain things, but the kid plays guitar and ukulele and all sorts of stuff where a lot of people can. He just focuses in on certain things.
I get in trouble with the rest of the family at times because he'll say he can't do something, and I'll be like, damn it, yes he can. He just has to try to do it first. He gives up too easy. And I try to be the tough love parent sometimes, and I get a lot of trouble for that crap. But and in some ways they're right, but in some ways, I believe in him enough that I know he can do it, and so I try to push him to do it. Now, if he tries and then can't do it, that's fine. As long as he tries, that's all I care. Try. If you fail after you tried, at least you tried. But don't look at me and say I can't, because I know damn well you can, because you're one of the smartest kids I know. You just have to quit being afraid.
Yeah.
Now, if I could get him to not be afraid to touch trash and have to wash his hand 10,000 times a day, the world would be better. But
let's step at a time.
I've been working on that for years, and it does not. Man, if he touches the trash can at all to even put something in, and he touches something that came out of his hand 30 seconds before, man, there we go, right to the sink, washing the flesh right off of his hands. But it's part of it. And
well, I bet his hands are clean though.
Oh
Very
yeah, I
clean.
mean they're clean.
But they're raw.
Oh yeah, he goes. It's funny. He he goes through so much lotion you think he was a 15-year-old boy, and that's not what he's doing with it. He goes through lotion like I think he went we buy him these bottles of lotion. We buy 3-pack boxes from Amazon, and he went through 4 of those in one school year of, I mean, big bottles, like big bottle of
Yeah.
like hand lotion, because otherwise his hands would just be raw from washing his hands so much.
Uh-huh.
We know you're sneaking the bottle, so I'm like,
Yeah.
blame
Yeah.
it on the kid.
Yeah. Sorry, dear. Kid needs more lotion.
Well, the kid had the lotion, at college, so it wasn't here.
Well, that's good for them guys.
Kid needs more Jergens. Sorry, honey.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it sounds like you're doing the best you can, being the best dad you can. So good for
Yeah.
you.
Just day at a time, day at a time. We went to Disney end of May, and
Well, how's that?
it was fucking horrible.
Ah,
Was it?
This is the only cool thing about Disney is my
Yeah, sure.
lightsaber.
What was hard about the people or the weather?
Yes, all of it,
The
everything.
people? Yeah.
The cost, the expense,
Yeah.
the heat in the end of May, the crowds, the fact that my wife and daughter got sicker than shit because of their allergies in Florida in the end of May apparently are a death sentence to where.
Yes.
So we went down for band trip because my daughter was supposed to march in the parade at Disney, and I said supposed to, and we went as a security blanket, and it ended up the security blanket trigger got pulled. Her asthma kicked in so bad that she couldn't even walk, let alone march in the parade in those hot ass uniforms. We had to get her, and then we ended up pulling her off the band trip and flew her back home with us. Because I mean, the other problem was being on the band trip. They take the kids to the park, and there's nowhere way for her to get out of the environment. She can't get indoors, and can't. The kids just have to find a spot to sit outside if they want to sit and rest, because it's not like they can go back to their hotel because they're all there on a bus.
Yeah.
And so, she just got sicker and sicker throughout the day, every day. So by pulling it off, then she could just stay in the hotel room, and that's what the wife ended up having to do. I'd go out and do some stuff. Now, a couple things were cool. I rode Rise of the Resistance, which was really
cool
damn
ride.
cool.
Yeah.
It was super cool. And Ryan and I built lightsabers, and spent a bunch of money on that. But I got tired of spending $6 on a Coke and $5 on a bottle of water.
I hear you.
I got back to the Orlando airport. I'm like, man, it's nice to only pay $3.50 for a bottle of water.
yeah.
It's nuts.
Oh, the mouse is the greediest son of a bitch on the planet, man.
Jen just booked a trip for February. I know all about it.
Well, that they know you're a captive audience, right? I mean, they
Oh
know.
yeah.
I mean, you're not going anywhere.
I mean, that trip, I'll tell you flat out, it cost us 13 bills.
Oh, you got lucky.
Yeah, I mean,
but the memories last a lifetime.
Oh, jeez. No, we had cool memories at Disney when the kids were little. Our first family trip to Disney, we had a memory that can never be replaced, and it's the kind of thing you really can't buy, because we got to be the family of the day that opened the Magic Kingdom. That was cool as shit, right? That's something you can't plan for. That just happens, and not unless you're somebody special, and we weren't. We just got picked because we were in the right place at the right time, and that was super cool. But now it's just, oh my god, it's just so miserable.
I wish Jen would get that way. I really do.
So there's that Star Wars ride that like it's the like they pick one person in that to be, you're on the like cruiser or whatever, and then they pick one person as the rebel spy, and then they put that person's face on the screen or whatever, and then they go through the whole thing where it's like, oh, and then like the whole thing moves back and forth and stuff like that, and then there's the screen in front of you, so like it gives you G-force feelings and what have you. Anyway, when I went, when my kids were much younger and we all went. Caleb was like 3, and then that would make my daughter what 9. We went and Ron and I went on that together, and the thing came up because full ride, 16 people or whatever in it, and it says the rebel spy has been found, and it was her. Like they showed the picture of her, just like because they must have a camera or whatever, and they just pick one person in the crowd. And so anyway, last year she went back to Disney for a band trip, and it was the first time she ever went anywhere without any of us with, and she had a good time. She's got a good group of friends. But she went on that ride again, and once again she was picked as the rebel spy.
Because she's the rebel
I was
spy,
like-
apparently.
I was like, that's cool. Yeah. I remember the first time we came out, like
Never trust them oysters.
she was like, whatever, 9, and she was like, I was rebel spy, it was cool. And I was like, yeah, that is cool. And then this lady, she heard her and she's like, you were the rebel spy? And she's like, yeah, I was. And she was like, hold on. And she went and she grabbed a t-shirt that just said, I was the rebel spy at Walt Disney.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then she just said, here you go. And then I was like, well, did you get that one again? And she's like, no, nobody approached me, nobody gave me a shirt. I was just like,
Hell no. That
No,
rat's raping
because anything that
everybody
used
right
to be
now.
free, you got to pay for it.
Yeah, pretty much.
well,
they're
yeah, it
getting
would have
better
been
with some of it.
$37.50 now, for
Yeah,
some
exactly.
They're
cheap
getting
ass
better with some of it
fucking
now.
Hanes shirt with an iron on. But what do you do? Other than that, your family's happy and healthy and everything.
Yeah, otherwise everybody's healthy. And we had to put our dog down right before the trip, which was horrible.
Oh,
Yeah, it sucks.
Well, we decided to because she's in bad shape, and we were afraid she would die while we were gone on the trip because she had stopped eating and some other stuff. And 13 years with a critter, that's part of the family at that point. It's not just a dumb animal. It's part of your part.
well,
of you.
I'll say this to anybody who'll listen, and I don't know who said it first, but I've quoted that person every single time. I said, dogs give you thousands of great days, and one of the absolute fucking worst.
I think it's any pet.
Well, and it's not even just one worst day, man. It was a couple days leading up, and then week. I mean, dude, I'd go from the bathroom at night to back to bed, and I'd take my phone and I'd be shining on the floor so I didn't trip on the dog, and the dog's not there. And every time you realize you're doing that, you start to freaking choke up and cry again. It was.
I still, because we still had dogs. I still remember like when I went to go let the dogs out one morning, and I called for both because over COVID, we lost both of our dogs, our older dogs, within like 3 months of each other. But I was like, I let the 2 big dogs out, and I was like, Reg, Beak, come on. I was like, oh, I don't have Reggie and Beaker anymore.
Yeah, it's just horrible. But so there's more and more missing the dog, and more missing the dog, and more missing the dog. Yesterday, I'm at work and I'm headed out to go grab myself lunch because the wife was working from home. She works from home 4 days a week anymore because her job doesn't need her in the office. So she's been working from home, and the daughter texts me, is like, you want to meet us at restaurant for lunch? And I'm like, yeah, I guess so, because that's usually a hint. Come eat lunch with us, right? So I go eat lunch, and the whole time we're sitting there at lunch, the wife and daughter are looking at pictures of puppies on the internet the whole time. I'm just like, is this some kind of conspiracy to give me a big hint that you want another dog now, so that you're sitting there both showing each other puppy pictures through the whole damn lunch you invited me to? That was not their intent, but I started looking for breeders yesterday afternoon, and I found 2 pups of the breed of our old dog, which is our favorite breed of dog. I found 2 pups ready to go, available 90 minutes away from here. So tomorrow after work, we're driving 90 minutes to pick up our new puppy.
Oh, that's nice.
Good for you.
So I think the wife and daughter are super excited. The son, he doesn't care so much about the dogs, but
Yeah.
He'll pay attention to it and like it. He likes the cats. The cats are his friends. He pays attention. He started. It's kind of weird because I told you he's become more and more empathetic towards things. And a big thing he started doing since he came home from school for the summer is he feeds the cats every morning.
Yeah.
And so he goes and feeds the cats, which he never fed the cats through his whole life. And now he goes and feeds the cats because he likes the cats, and the cats have started paying attention to him too. So
Mhm.
it's interesting to see him bonding there. So we'll see how he does with the puppy. Puppies don't really recognize your personal space usually, which will be a little tougher for
Yeah.
him. He doesn't. He will when he's done with you, he wants to be done, and but he knows now just go in there and close his door to his room, and the puppy won't be able to get to him. So he's not as excited as everyone else, but yeah, we will be adding a new Samiad to the house tomorrow.
Well, good. It'll make you happy.
No, yeah, it was nice to have 2 months where I did not have to schedule my life around another organism's bowel movements.
Usually is.
That's the downside of having a dog is
Yeah.
your life revolves around that animal's biological cycle
Yeah.
of going to the toilet. You're like, oh, let's go out and do blah, blah, blah. Well, we have to go home and let the dog out first. Oh, yeah, we got to go do that. And when you get up in the morning, what's the first thing you do? You go let the dog out. And before you go to bed, you let the dog out. And yeah, your life, once you have that dog in the house as a house pet, and I'm not a fan of having unless you have a large plot of land where the dog's got a job and something to do. I'm not a big fan of people that just keep a dog outside all the time. I'm
Yeah.
not, it is what it is. I'm not judging them, but
I will.
for
That's
me,
fucking cruel. I'll
for,
judge those people all day long.
well, I mean, if they take care of it, pay attention to it, whatever. But if it's a single dog, it's cruel because they're a pack animal to me. You know, if you've got
Yeah.
two of them out there and they live out there and you pay attention to them and care about them and care for them, there are circumstances. But really, if you're going to have a dog as a pet, it should be with you because it needs its pack, and that's kind of how I view it. But it was nice to have a 2 month break away from someone else's biological cycle telling you everything you had to do in life. But as George Carlin said, life is a series of dogs. And it's time to continue my series. Because to be honest, I just don't feel right without a dog. It just doesn't. And when we lost the dog, I'm like, I think this may be the last dog. I think we're just gonna have to go without. I said, we're getting older, blah blah blah. Oh, we made it 2 damn months, so I'm pretty proud of us.
My my nearly 80-year-old dad and his wife, who's 68. Yeah, I mean, they didn't have a dog for several years, and they just moved to a new house and they re-upped. They're like, well, need to have a dog. So they went out and, and I was like, Dad, this damn dog's gonna outlive you. I was just like, yeah. And he's like, well, then Sue will have somebody, to hang out with. He's like, won't be my job anymore. I was just like, all right, well, I guess that's one way to look at it. But yeah, I don't know. We've got the three, right? I mean, we got down to two, and all of a sudden, the whole family got in love with the idea of getting another husky. So that's why we got two huskies in the blue heeler now. So it's just kind of like, and the one husky, he went to the dog park and must have licked the wrong dog's butt, because he got butt parasites, and he had explosive diarrhea, the most disgusting explosive diarrhea I've ever had to deal with my entire life. And I had to, drop a couple $100 on him, getting him a shot, and now he's got all this special medication stuff. But right, it's like, it's not his fault.
You
His
took him to
tummy
the
hurt.
park.
He's just being a dog, man.
So I don't know, man. Life's better with a dog. Speaking of which, here you can even see him. He's right down there.
Who's the puppy?
That's
Who's the
where he
goodest
sleeps.
puppy?
What?
I said, who's the goodest puppy?
But that's just
Same.
where he sleeps. He doesn't go anywhere. He just, as soon as I sit at this computer, he lays down next to me, which I think is awesome. But you know, it's just,
Yeah,
it's
our
funny.
old girl that we lost, man, she was basically furniture towards the end. You know, it was hard to get up and down and everything else. You know, being a big dog and being that old, but you know, she's the puppy would still wake up once in a while when she'd want something, but then the rest of the time she was furniture, and he didn't love her any less for it.
I I think I've told the story before, but I mean, when it comes to dogs, I mean, I've got a really soft heart for dogs. But I just remember reading many years ago. I remember reading a story about John Claude Van Damme, and yes, okay, he's kind of a douchebag and whatever, you know,
Chocolate, no.
and we won't deny that in any way, shape, or form. But
Better than Seagal.
yeah, he's better than Seagal. But like the interviewer was talking to him, and he had this picture of a dog on his on his desk, and he said, "No, who's that?" You know, and he just basically was like, "Oh, that's my dog," you know. And then he told him this whole story about, you know, he had this black lab and raised it from a puppy, and that was the person that, you know, when he said, when I was going through my divorce, you know, that was like the person that kept me sane. And you know, every morning she'd run on the beach with me, and she'd come and work out with me. And when I went to work on movies, she would come with me and stay in my trailer. And it was just, you know, and then he talked about basically she got sick and eventually he had to, you know, say goodbye. And he said I sat in that office. I mean, it was like he said something was he was like, it was like a culmination of like that whole time of my life where I was going through this horrible divorce and just like, you know, and losing everything, you know, and like, and when she left, it was like I had to relive all that pain again. And he said I was crying so hard in the office at the vet just left the room and didn't come back for like hours. He said he just couldn't stop crying. He was like, and he turned and he looked at the guy and he said, I would give every penny I own if I could just have one more day of running on down the beach with that girl. You know, it's just like, well, you're a douchebag, but and maybe you're just saying it for the interview. But in that moment, I was like, well, I'll never. I mean, I guess maybe if he did something really horrendous and horrible, I would hate him. But I was like, at that point, I was like, oh, I'll always be a fan of that guy because he loves dogs. And I've always said this too. If somebody like says, oh, I'm not a dog person, and you ask, oh, what's going on? And if they say, oh, when I was a kid, I got attacked by a dog, and like I'm just deathly afraid of them now, or you know, it's like I have just horrible allergies with dogs, and I just can't be near them, or else I just can't breathe, and all these things. Okay, fine. But you know, but if you're just like, I'm just not a dog person, I'm just kind of like, there's something wrong with you. I'm just like,
If you show them a picture of a puppy and they go, ugh, you know they're a horrible human, right?
It depends on the puppy. There's some ugly puppies.
Even ugly puppies are cute. It's a puppy. They're cuter than babies. Come on.
That's true. Babies just look like fucking aliens.
Maybe a Chinese crested hairless or something like that looks like an alien instead of a dog. But this puppy we're getting is so ridiculously cute. It's not even funny.
Well, what's the way you mentioned? It's your favorite breed of dog.
It's a Samoyed or Samoyed, however you want to pronounce it.
Okay, I know.
They are a giant white fluff ball. You know, they're about 60.
I know. I live up north, man. I see them with Samoyeds all the time. Why do you think I have two huskies? They can just
right. They're one of the big
outside.
3 sled dogs, right? They're the middle. They're the middle size.
So I get it.
My first dog my wife and I had was a mixed breed, half Chow, half Malamute. And that's my favorite dog ever. She was 100 pounds of muscle and the smartest damn dog I've ever known. And she was my bestie. And she died when I was away out of the country in Belgium, and I didn't get to say goodbye, which sucked.
Yeah.
But that dog tore both ACLs over the course of her life and all sorts of other stuff. She ripped her way out of a steel cage. She ate a door. Um, she was an amazing dog. I miss her every day. It yeah, and I wanted a Malamute. I did, but Malamutes are extremely active. You know,
Yeah.
they've got to do stuff. Sammys can be pretty chill. I mean, they can be active, but they also are very easy to be a chill dog. Malamute, if you don't keep that entertained, you will have not a backyard. You will have an archaeological dig site because they will make a den in every spot of your yard that used to have grass. And it won't take them long either. And I like huskies as well too. We like the sledding dogs. You know, they're most of them are super smart.
Yeah, they are a smart breed.
But what I told him in chat,
So-
Sammy's useless as guard dogs. All they're going to do is kiss and greet the intruder
Yeah.
and say, "Hey, welcome. Can I get you a beer? What would you like to take with you?"
Can I help you with the door?
Well, do you have a name picked out, or are you gonna like see what their personality's like before you?
Oh, the ladies have been talking about names. They're thinking about Mishka right now.
It's a solid name.
Yeah.
It's a female?
Yeah, it's female. I want to name it Floof, but she said it is a Floof. It's not named Floof. I'm like, okay, fine. Because it looks
You've
like
been
a floof.
vetoed already.
I was vetoed instantly. You
don't get to say, just sign the check.
Yeah, I withdrew the money to pay for it from the bank today because you got to pay cash. It's like,
Oh yeah,
it's a giant white thing that you're paying cash for, and it's not cocaine.
Yeah. Just curious, Keith, how much is a puppy that breed?
Do you really want to know what I'm dropping on this dog?
Yeah, how many grand?
2.5.
2.5. I guess that ain't bad.
I thought it was horrible because the previous one I paid like 400 13 years ago.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
then, Keith.
and I'm like, yeah, but I mean, inflation's not that much. Damn, I mean that's 5 times 5 times as much. But but this one, you know, these people, it's available. They're like they asked when I'd contact, like, where are you located? I told them. She's like, oh wow, that's nearby. We're used to people coming from Pennsylvania, New York, and Texas to get puppies. I'm like,
Wow.
jeez, from Texas to get a dog? It's
Yeah.
a long haul, man.
What's a heck of a long haul?
A lot of people from
Oh,
here go
yeah.
down the Carolinas to get a certain breed. Yeah, they'll travel for dogs.
Yeah. My heart broke a little bit when I was searching yesterday because I was looking for breeders, and I'm just kind of looking for everything because I kind of want. There's a breed I want.
Aldi got COVID. Sorry, what the heck?
Yeah, he has COVID.
Guy
I
got
wasn't
COVID.
gonna spread his business. I knew I was wrong with him, but I didn't want to out his business when I said he wasn't feeling well.
Oh, that sucks. Poor Scott's got the worst luck.
Yeah. But my wife was interested in a breed called a Eurasia, which is part Sammy, part Chow Chow, and I think it was part Quezon. But there's like a handful of breeders in the U.S. and there's a 1 to 2 year waiting list, and they started about 5 bills. I'm like, nope. And so then I looked for Quezon, which is a little bit smaller. Couldn't find anything active, but while I was looking for these things, I found this breeder and like, oh, they have Sammys. And I go to their website, and this is a nice professional website, and it's talking about from the heart and blah blah. And I look, this website has 42 puppies available, and I just got sick to my stomach because
that's a lot of puppies.
that is not a that is a mill.
It's a breeding mill.
And it just made me sick to my stomach. I'm like, oh, that's horrible. These people that we're getting this dog from 2 litters a year, period. That's it. That's all they do.
Yeah.
You know, they breed for the love of the breed and things like that. And, you know, and so I feel much better getting a dog from somebody that does it as a hobby. You know, the business is part of their passion, not
Yeah.
they're just trying to make a buck. So I'm willing to pay for that, right?
Yeah, the sticker price didn't show. I went out. My uncle was looking for actually just a lab, a chocolate lab, and they're like 1,500, $2,000 if you go to a breeder, you know, a reputable breeder and all that. Even in the SPCA and all that, he was saying they were expensive. The adoption and all that. He was saying the prices of dogs have gone up since the COVID, basically.
No, I'm sure it has.
Uh,
I'm sure that that's affected a lot of everything, right? Everything's
Yeah.
all jacked up post freaking the outbreak of COVID. I won't say post COVID. I'll say post the outbreak of it.
Yeah.
But oh, it's funny. I have, you know, I've always been an introverted personality, which you guys don't see it as much because you know me. When I know people, I'm not introverted.
Yeah.
But the whole pandemic of staying home and staying away from stuff just put me right back into my happy place of just avoiding freaking people altogether as much as absolutely possible. And so that's one of the reasons I'm like, I'm going to go to BGG Con, but why am I not going to Gen Con? Well, I told you, I don't really care about shopping for games. And, you know, I might get to see people, but what I'm avoiding is seeing a bunch of people I don't want to be in the middle of.
Right.
And I don't want to be in the herd and smell the human sweat and stench of the exhibit hall. And I don't want to deal with downtown Indianapolis, and I don't want to deal with other stuff. And after we got back from Disney, I had hit my limit on being around other people. I'm like, nope, not
Yeah.
going near nobody. I'm going to work. I'm going home. What family would be like, oh, you want to go out and eat? I'm like, nope. I want to sit in my bubble.
Disney will do that to you.
You know, I'm just so antisocial. It's not great, but
Us-
I do socialize with friends and I socialize at work,
Yeah.
and that's enough for me right now. I don't need to go out and just do stuff.
So what I discovered, and I'm not finding fault with anybody here, and I don't want Keith to like take this as me like saying, "Meh, you're full of shit" or something like that. But I mean,
You're full of shit, Keith.
what I discovered, there were a lot of people that, as you said, you know, like are introverted, but felt like there was a certain societal expectation upon them to be social and something that they didn't really enjoy. Like they, you know, so and then COVID and social distancing for those people was actually just a complete and total breath of fresh air. Like there was no expectation for them to be at work functions. There was no expectation for them to, you know, uh, have to be out and about making connections, you know, what have you. And there was no longer like, oh, you know, I'd come out, but I got this thing with, you know, some bullshit response, like some half-assed excuse that wasn't even close to being real, you know. But and then when we've now, or we're working on now, like becoming more normal, which I mean we pretty much are now, with, you know, whether you like it or not. I mean, it's just, you know, then those people are kind of like, and I'm not saying this is you, Keith, I'm just saying a lot of people are like, wait, whoa, I don't want to go back to that. You know, I don't
I'll
wanna.
awfully admit I don't want to go back to it. It's I freely admit I don't want. I do at times, right? But I also realize that. So I thought part of me thought I wanted to crave to go out and do stuff because I've for the longest time didn't go out and do anything, and then the board gaming stuff got me going out and doing stuff, and I did enjoy going out, and I do like going out and get stuff. But then after I stopped going out and doing stuff, I really didn't miss it a whole lot. I
Yeah.
and a big difference is I have the ability to stay in communication with people without going out. I can talk to
Yeah.
Aldi
Yeah.
and I can talk to people and I can do other things due to the technology and the other things. And well, so I bought into during the whole thing. Walmart has a delivery service. You can pay, it's basically an annual fee like Amazon Prime, and you don't have to pay delivery fees to have stuff delivered to you from Walmart, from your local store, because that's really one of two places we have to get groceries. And I bought that and I use it to this day. I mean, I still use it. If I want something from Walmart, I'll go in, I'll go online, I'll go click, 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 and I bring it because I hate Walmart with the passion of 1,000 burning suns. Like going in that store,
Yeah.
I
I kind of
hate it.
like it. I'm weird. I'm weird like
Oh,
that.
I hate it. I hate it. I hate
I
it.
hate
I
shopping in
hate it.
general. Yeah.
And I hate specifically Walmart. Like I don't mind going to other stores, but Walmart, it's just such a mess in there. You get behind the people that haven't seen their long lost bestie for 100 years, and they've circled the wagons in the middle of the aisle so nobody can get through. And you're like,
Yeah.
excuse me, would you get the fuck out of my way? Type of thing. And they don't get it. And it's just like, oh, but I can just click a button. I don't have to go figure out which freaking aisle they put the Tazo chai tea mix for my daughter in. I just click the button and it comes to the house like magic. And I'm a big fan. I will tip that driver because that $15 to bring those groceries in their car and drop it off at my garage is absolutely worth not having to go in that freaking store. It is so nice. And so, yeah, I have taken advantage of all of the delivery things we did when nobody would go out. And I help keep those people employed. I'm a big fan of
Yeah,
avoiding
I mean,
going
I guess
places.
I'm just weird. I like the wander.
Oh, and
Yeah.
I understand why people would like it, why people like to do stuff. And I like going out once in a while. But I've also entered a weirder phase of life where, like, for the past, I have saved a lot of money over the past, we'll call
Yeah.
it year, if you will, from the standpoint, like, I'll look at my bank account, I'm like, how did I get so much money? Well, one, I paid my car off during that time and don't have a car payment. And two, I just don't buy shit very often. Like,
Yeah. I'm the
I
same
don't.
way.
I've hit the point in my age where, like, okay, I've won. I have anything I really want other than a Godzilla Pro pinball machine. That's the only thing I really want. Thanks, Aldi, for putting that monkey on my back with my craving. But
God damn,
it's like,
Aldi.
so last week I'm
It was
like,
a cool game
a friend of mine
though.
was got this brand of headset right here, this new model of headset, and it's an upgrade to my existing headset. And I'm like, that sounds cool. And, it's expensive. It's $350. I'm like, I haven't bought anything for myself forever. Boom, bought a headset. And
Yeah.
then I was playing Diablo. I'm like, well, Starfield's coming soon. Maybe I should get a new video card for Starfield. Okay, boom. Okay, there's a 4070 Ti and plug that into my computer because I hadn't bought myself anything since I bought stuff at Disney for myself. So I've
Yeah.
saved all that money I used to spend on board games and pews and stuff like that. I'm not spending on anything now. So I'm just packing that money away and eventually it'll turn into a Godzilla Pro pinball machine. But now I just bought a dog, which took a chunk out, and I bought new tires for the car, and I need a new fridge, and I need a new deck. And
There's always something.
my company's just coming out of bankruptcy. So all that good stuff. But yeah, I'm saving money by just not buying stuff I don't need lately. So
Yeah, you do save. I was talking to my brother about tips. Like, he came out. We went somewhere, and he got a coffee. It wasn't a Starbucks. It was similar to a Starbucks though. And they expected like a 15 or 20% tip. I'm like, for a coffee? And he's like, yeah. Like, when did this shit start? Like, I understood going to a restaurant or something, or a delivery, you throw a couple bucks or whatever. But when did this 20% everywhere start. Yeah. Have you guys noticed that where you're at or
Oh
no?
yeah. Well, I mean, you get machines that ask you to tip self-service. So I mean, it's crazy. I don't know who's getting that tip money, but unless it's going to the person serving me, it's not going.
Yeah, it was even at Wawa. I saw like a tip thing, and I'm like, it's a convenience, it's a gas station.
Well, when I was at Disney, I was thinking about the servers at Disney must be raking it in because you figure
They're automatically, yeah.
the average character meal at Disney is $80 a head or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And a server will have 10 tables and they're constantly turned, right? Boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom. And we'll say the average table is 4 heads. So, you're looking at a $320 base check.
Yeah.
And so then if they're tipping the standard 20% because that's what the thing suggests. Okay, now that's $64 a table for 10 tables an hour or whatever. That's doing pretty good.
Yeah. I'm sure they're splitting up with the
And all they do is
back of the
pick up
house.
plates, man.
I'm sure they're splitting with the back of the house, but yeah.
Yeah. But
well, the
interesting.
argument, I mean, and I don't want to get super political here, but I mean, the argument there is that if we just didn't pay them dirt as servers, they we wouldn't have to tip, and they would just make
well,
their
but
money.
I mean, if you paid them $30 an hour, which for a lot of jobs isn't horrible money, they'd lose their ass compared to what they're making now.
Mhm.
I don't
Because,
know, man.
but
I mean,
but I'm talking no, I'm not talking about your average restaurant. I'm talking about at Disney,
Yeah.
right? Your average restaurant is not $320 for every top.
There was a big hoopla. The guys who made South Park, one of them bought a
They
oh
both
yeah, I
bought
read
it.
about this.
Yeah.
but they tried that. They tried, but there was some other shit with it. I can't remember exactly all. But
Well, their plan is to pay servers $30 an hour and ban tipping.
yeah, that's they were going to implement that, but there was something in how they did it. It was like at the last minute they did some shady, what seemed to be shady shit. I only heard half of the story, but there's a big uproar over the wage because of the tips. I guess they made a lot of tips. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
that's why I think if you're at a very, very popular and spendy restaurant, tips are better than a lot of
A
base
wage.
pays,
Yeah.
right? A lot of wages that you can earn. But if you're working in Seymour, Indiana at the Applebee's, that tip rate's not so great.
Yeah, most people do.
It's you're not getting rich on that. But I could see where if you were at a theme park type restaurant that the tips are probably fairly lucrative, and there's a reason you're doing that.
Yeah.
Well, what are you gonna do? Cry
Change
about
the
it.
minimum wage
Oh,
and then deal with all the percussions of that.
Dun, 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 dun.
I'm looking for
What's up,
something.
dickhead?
Looking for
Tonight?
something. Not that one.
But
Okay.
well, did you buy anything on the Steam sale then, Keith?
I did not.
Well, you still got a day, so
I do have I haven't even looked at the Steam sale, to be honest.
everybody's talking about, oh, I remember when the Steam sale used to be like, it was so much better, it was like great games for dirt cheap prices and all this, that, and the other thing, and how it's just not the same anymore. And I'm just kind of like, I don't know if that's the case. Maybe it is. Maybe I just don't have as good a memory about it as other people, but I remember like being able to pick up a few things that were cool, but now it seems like, and rightfully so. I mean, it's like anything else, right? They're not going to give away everything.
right.
So I don't know. What are you gonna do? I picked up a couple of things that were like a couple of indie games like Loot, like what was it? I forget what it is. There's like a tower defense game that was like Rogue Tower, but it was Rogue Tiles and stuff like that. It was kind of neat looking. I mean, it was worth playing in my opinion. So yeah. Other than that, I don't know. See, somebody was supposed to have like a good idea of what to have, and then so I would know, and then so I could go, oh yeah, I need that game. But you got nothing for me, so thanks for nothing.
Yeah, because I've been playing the crap out of Diablo. So it is what it is there, because I
Nobody
really
ever
like
says
it.
that about anything good.
Oh, in this case, I'll say about
Ugh.
something that I think is good, but why is that not the way I want it? Come on. I'm trying to work on something that's not cooperating.
Hate when it happens.
I know, right?
Sons of bitches.
SOBs, sons of bitches.
I just called my brother that yesterday. Son of a bitch. I got him a guitar, an acoustic guitar. And he's never picked up an instrument in his life. So I got like Sunday he came down and helped me with putting in a chandelier. And then he called me yesterday. What was it, Tuesday? He's like, I'm going to learn how to play Wanted Dead or Alive. I'm like, you can't. He's like, why not? Damn it. I said, because he uses a 12-string guitar. He's like, always pissing on my Cheerios. Like, you only got a 6-string guitar, Rich. It's a regular acoustic guitar. Don't go nuts. Learn how to play a note first, and then we'll go on a song.
Hmm.
So I called him. I said, slow down, you son of a bitch. The chandelier went smoother than I thought with him.
All right. Well, I mean, God, I mean, you just all these sick.
Yeah, damn Aldi.
Yeah, I mean,
There you go.
There we go.
Halls of Torment is good. If you want to play a
There, I put up the new puppy for you. Has my background.
oh,
So that's
well,
what she looks like.
she looks adorable.
Yeah, she's adorable. Now I'm going to sit in her face. Block her picture. Oh, well. Yeah. I can't. It's sad that I played a lot of something before Diablo came out, and now I can't even remember what I was. I played a little Zelda before Diablo came out.
You know, I've been playing Diablo with my son, couch co-op, and you know it's fine. But I mean, I'm like kind of like this is I don't know. This is just kind of boring. I mean, it's just kind of like, oh, okay, go here, walk all the way here, do this, go back to town, you know, trash all this stuff.
Yeah, it's Diablo.
Find 2 or 3 things that are slightly better, maybe.
I enjoy it. I've been playing with our old buddy Pete, a few other folks.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just I it's not that it's bad, it's just kind of like I don't know. It's just not for lack of a better term, it's not just like, oh my gosh, I gotta play it, you know. I mean, it's just kind of like maybe it's just because like there's so many different what's up.
The dishwasher's leaking. It was being used, but mom told me to alert you.
Okay. Well, okay, thanks. Apparently
Never
the
ends,
dishwasher's
man.
the dishwasher's leaking again and it's not even being used. So it's great. I don't know what's going on. Anyway,
Check the valve. Shut it off.
yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to I have no idea what's going on. Just my whole house is falling apart. I'm losing my mind. Um. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back.
All right.
Ah,
Oh, I'm scrolling the Steam sale to see if there's anything that looks interesting, and I'm finding big piles of nothing on there that interest me. So we'll see what there is to see at some point. I'm looking forward to Baldur's Gate 3, which is releasing fairly soon, but it's going to be competing with my first season of Diablo 4, and I've pre-ordered Starfield because I'm like super excited to play any the big Bethesda. Let me just go and do whatever I want games, because that's my favorite type of game. Open world games are my jam, where I can just go out and here's your main quest. That's great. Screw that shit. I'll come to it when I'm done. And that's the last part of the game. So by the time you start the main quest, you're basically a god. You know, I was walking around Skyrim as Mr. Stealth Ninja Death Archer, where I could one shot like everything in the game by the time I actually got story going, because I just leveled up so much. It's like, okay, I guess I've found every quest I can find. Let's go do this. And by the time you're actually in the story, you're just like, die. And Fallout's the same way for me. I get into Fallout and I go out there and I loot everything in the wasteland. I'm like, oh, I need to find my kid. Okay, who's in my way? And they're all paced at that point. That's how I like to play open world games. It's
Just become a god and kill everything.
oh, I mean, it's all about, oh, this isn't nailed down. I shall take it. I might need this. Why do you need a rusted tin can? Because I might. That's why. Because I'm allowed to pick it up. Therefore, I'm picking it up.
It means something.
I can eventually scrap it and make something else out of it. That's kind of where it goes. Oh, I did play some other games. You know, I played like the God of War Ragnarok, which was absolutely amazing. That game was so freaking good. Loved it. And Kabuki just said, you know, Red Dead Redemption 2 was great. Yeah, I played Red Dead Redemption 2 through a couple of times. I even played Red Dead Online a little while earlier this year for a little bit and had a good time with that before they basically, you know, kind of were abandoning it. But it was something to do different. The family liked watching me play Red Dead.
The family like watching it.
I played something. What else did I play on PS5 recently? I sat down and played through a couple games on PS5, and I'm getting old and my memory doesn't stand up anymore as well as it used to. But you know, God of War Ragnarok was huge for me. But I played something else after that that was really solid that I liked. And for the life of me, I can't remember what I was playing. So I'm going to get out the Google and I'll see it and think I'm really stupid. Oh, Hogwarts Legacy. Yeah, I played the snot out of Hogwarts Legacy as well. I played a ton of that. I played Star Wars Jedi Survivor recently as well. Pretty good. It was okay. Wasn't fantastic. I like the last one a little better, but it was a good time. Oh, what else is showing up on here? Horizon Forbidden West was a good time. Played through that. Played all sorts of crap. It's just played so much crap, it's hard to remember all of it. I had a good time. Now my daughter's turning into a gamer, so she's playing stuff all the time too now.
That's cool.
My son plays on Switch exclusively for the most part, but my daughter likes playing on PC, Switch, PlayStation. Doesn't she doesn't care. She'll play anything at this point, and she's starting to try to get into RPGs and stuff like that. So
that's cool.
Yeah, there's good stuff out there. I didn't see anything I wanted in the Steam sale though.
Yeah, I don't follow.
Oh
it.
yeah, Kabuki Outer Worlds is fantastic. Fallout type of feel game. It's got that nice, that kind of Art Deco setting or whatever that you've got going on. I like Outer Worlds quite a bit, and yeah, Cyberpunk 2077 was really good. I really liked it, and I was with fortunate people. I downloaded it on PC out of the get go. I didn't have hardly any bugs, had no performance issues or anything else. Played the crap out of it when it came out. I got my chair, my secret lab chair is a cyberpunk chair that I got. It's a really nice chair. Yeah, cyberpunk, super cool game for me. I enjoy the crap out of it. Uh, haven't looked at what board games are supposed to be coming out at all because I'm a
Neither have I.
slacker.
Just not interested.
I will have to, if I'm going to be doing Gen Con preview, I'm going to have to look at that thing ahead of time, so I'm not going into it completely blind. Because I have no idea what's going. Well, I'll wait till Aldi's feeling better, then I'll make him tell me what looks decent to him, since he's got his fingers on the pulse, where I don't.
Somewhat. Yeah, I really
more
don't.
than I do right now. Let's see what new games came out. Anything I care about? Nope. Nope.
Mhm.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
Nope.
Nope.
Definitely nope.
I can scroll through this list so fast going,
Yeah.
nope. I mean, I did pre-order game. I pre-ordered the expansion to the Descent game. I just finished playing. Well, the day that thing was announced, I'm like, pre-order. I mean, we really like that game, and I know a lot of people don't like the app-driven games as much, but we really dug it. We really liked it. It was a good time.
I gotta get back to that Manchester Madness with the app.
Yeah, that was good.
I haven't-
This took the Mansions of Madness stuff, and I think took it to the next level for me personally.
I'm sure it
It
did. Yeah.
it does so much of the just busy work for you,
Yeah.
and you've got a place to track all the hit points and everything else, and the rules for how to fight the mobs are important and stuff, and it's pretty neat stuff going on. So I really enjoyed it quite a bit. Okay, I'm all the way back to April releases and not seeing anything I need.
Yeah, you won't. It's the industry's been in a low light, in my opinion.
Well, and it's again, I've got a requirement. It has to be worth me
Yeah, I'm the same way.
going, hey, this looks cool compared to something else I got that probably already does it better.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same way. Or does it get to the table? Yeah.
Yeah, how's it going to get? Oh, okay, I found something I need to buy, but I haven't. There's a third book in the Cantaloupe stuff, and it's out of stock. I need to find it. I bought the second one. I haven't played it yet, but the Cantaloupe game, it's a solo game, to be honest. It's basically it's a board game that is the old point and click adventure, basically, from the computer games, and it does a really good job of simulating that. But I mean, it's a 2-hour solo game, basically.
Yeah.
It's fun. I do need to get the third one, and I need to get the second one played. But I look back through this new releases list, and nothing's pulling at me at all.
Yeah.
I'm sure if somebody put a game in front of me and said, play this, it's really fun, I would enjoy it. But that's what BGG Con's for me. So then I can just go there. I can play the new cool game, get it played, enjoy it, and then not have to find a spot in my shelf on it and never touch it again, and be happy as a pig in slop when I'm doing it. I had so much fun at BGG Con last year. Every year BGG Con's great for me. I just really enjoy that convention because it's not about shopping, and it's not jam-packed crowded, and there's so many games to play.
Yeah.
The thing is, I only play with this small group of people. I play with my buddies I go with, and I'll play with Lance, and I'll play with Aldi or people that they're with, and that's it, man. I don't have to reach out of my bubble if I don't want to. I see people like Chad and stuff, and it's a good time. And it's exactly what I'm looking for now. But to go to a big show right now, even one that's an hour away from me that I can just commute to, I just have zero desire. It's that crowd thing. Like I said, I don't like the crowds no more.
I just came back from BGG Spring. I told Scott I have no interest in going to any other con again. It's either spring or fall. I don't have to go to Gen Con
Well,
or
if he'd rescheduled
Origins and all
BGG
that.
Spring so it wasn't on my kid's birthday every year, maybe I'd get to go.
Yeah.
But I can't ask him to reschedule a con for me. So that's it. It's just BGG Spring's not going to be in my cards anytime
Yeah,
in the
kid,
near
that son
future.
of a bitch.
I know
Tell
he had to
Scott,
be born right
move
about
the
then. I mean,
day.
it's horrible.
Mhm.
It is what
Oh,
it
the son,
is.
yeah, he wouldn't do well at the con.
Now, Ryan would get bored off his ass pretty quickly and be miserable and be homesick. He likes to be in his routine, and if he's not in his routine, he's not happy.
Yeah.
Oh, there's somebody talking. There's a child. There's a youngster.
Yeah, I did quite enjoy BGG concert. That actually, I was done with the hobby right before that. I played this game ET, and I was like, "This is what this fucking industry's come to," But it wasn't just ET. That was like the last of a bunch of mediocre games I played in the last couple years. Yeah,
Okay, so Kabuki just mentioned how Aldi is saying how good Station Fall is. Station Fall is really damn cool. It really is.
yeah.
Was that Aldi's first? We played that at Aldi's house and
You were one of the
played it
games.
with his game group, and that game is neat. It is neat. I mean, we screwed up a bunch of shit, and it was still neat.
Yeah.
Then once we figured out what we did wrong, we just looked through it. And then, we just played the intro. Oh, play with this when you don't know what the hell you're doing setup, and you start looking at stuff. You look at all the things that are going on. That game's tight. That game is super cool and fun. And the fact that I won, that didn't hurt. As I was the ultimate. Aldi was, he freaking tried to blow up the station and all that kind of stuff, but I didn't care. I just wanted people to get off of the station and I wanted to go down with it. So he kind of helped me out. Station Falls, super neat game because it feels fresh and different.
Yeah.
And that's what something has to feel like. Man, I kind of want that game.
I
won't
saw
lie, I
it.
kind of want it.
I saw it play a bunch of times at Spring, but and Scott tried to talk me into playing the game. I don't want to hold anybody back with how my memory and all that shit is now. But I seen them guys out with spreadsheets, and I'm like, oh no. Scott's like, once you play a couple rounds, you'll get it. I'm like, I don't know about this. There's like 15 characters. Each has their special thing. I was like, I don't know if I'm stoned enough for this.
Oh, on my last game night, which was last week, I cranked out an old game off of the shelf. The previous game night, one of the guys wasn't going to make it. Decided to play a couple of I had a new box of unlocked games, and so we played a couple of those, and then we played a couple of card games that we haven't played in forever. But when I was looking for what we were going to play, I looked at the shelf and I saw a game. I'm like, next game night when Fishy's back, we're playing Adrenaline because I saw that on my shelf.
Adrenaline.
And I love that game. I hate area control games, with the exception of Adrenaline,
Really?
because Adrenaline is the area control game that does not feel like an area control game. That game feels like a shooter game, and it's 100% a Euro, and it is. That game's thematic implementation is just so damn good that it is one of my favorite games to play. And I had not played it for years and cranked it out and refreshed the rules. And I mean, we just had an absolute blast playing that thing. It was over and we're like, well, crap, game's over already because we're having such a good time. And then we cranked out, played the last unlock in that box and finished it off and got rid of it. It was the Asmodee Games unlock game, which had a Ticket to Ride not so great module.
Uh,
A Mysterium module that was pretty clever, and a Pandemic module that was interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah. If you like unlocked games, you should play them because they're decent. So I did enjoy those. I've got to figure out what we're going to play next week because I haven't looked into it. I've got some games in the shrink that I haven't cranked out yet or looked at all that have come in and all sorts of other stuff. But I hadn't been in my game room except for just game nights, and like during most of December, I canceled all of them, and other things were happening during the spring, and things were getting canceled here and there. Just a lot of stuff going on with the people play, but we're kind of jonesing to play some more. We're talking about maybe just taking a Friday off of work and doing a Friday and Saturday,
uh,
2 game day, do a little mini home con and knocking some games out, which would be good because I got tons of shit to play. So I'd like to play some stuff and play some stuff I've had for a while and get it back on the table and have a good time with it because there's so much good stuff and I've got too much crap. I mean, it's just it's fun, but like my family has zero desire to play anything. Everybody has their own shit they want to do now, and I thought probably if I begged them to come down and play, they might want to play, but they really haven't like shown any interest in it overall.
yeah.
So I use my table to punch Frosthaven and put it away finally, and then I put together a Lego, and now it's time to look for something else. Buy a copy. Looking to buy a
It's
copy of Station Fall. See how
yeah, it's tough when I don't even have a game group. Like I don't game with Jamie and them. The place they went to shut down, a couple of them actually. And they're just too. I don't drive as much anymore. And they're just a little too far for me to drive up there every week. And like I said, these guys here, they're kind of funny for my taste. The club out around the corner from me. But I just been playing a lot of like Ticket to Ride with the kids across the street. Gateway games. Although Jen's starting to get back into it since we got back from BGG Con. She actually bought about 5 or 6 games, and then she won like 6 or 7 when we were down there.
let's see. What was I getting ready to go? I was going to go buy something. Where do I get Station Fall? I need to message Aldi and ask him where the hell I get Station Fall.
Challenger Market?
I don't know if it's sold in regular retail or not.
I thought I saw it somewhere. I could be wrong. I thought I saw it somewhere. Yeah, he loved that game. I wondered when he feels better how much he played it on the ship. Yeah. Yeah. Poor Scott.
It would help if I'd spell this game right if I'm trying to look for it.
Usually, yeah, it does help. Keith.
If you want amusement, Amazon thinks I'm Asian.
Does it? Why?
Because they keep trying to sell me Asian things. It probably has something to do with me buying
Asian games.
a wok and then buying a 15-pound bag of rice and a Japanese knife and a big bottle of sesame oil and some other stuff for making fried rice at home. But since I bought that stuff, now every time I go to Amazon, it's like, oh, you like Japanese? Here's some more Japanese stuff to buy. And Amazon thinks I'm Japanese.
Okay.
So that's the out there that amuses me because I go, it's like,
I was Mexican for a while.
I'm really not Japanese just because I bought rice. Amazon, you racially profiling sons of bitches.
Yeah. I was Mexican on Amazon for a while. I was actually black at work for about 6 years.
No,
Yeah. Mm.
I'm only 2% black, so
Uh,
Amazon doesn't think I'm black. But I bought this knife. I bought a nice knife, like for kitchen knife. I'd never really bought a nice kitchen knife. You know, we've had this Chicago cutlery set since we got married, and
yeah.
you know we've used it. I'm like, they're fine, but I bought a nice Shun cutlery,
They-
Japanese, like Nakiri knife. I can't remember how you the spelling. It's a vegetable knife basically. And then I understood how chefs cut shit so fast
yeah,
on
it's
these
sharp.
shows. It's like my knives are basically fancy butter knives that I had.
yeah,
This thing, if you look at the edge wrong, you will cut
yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
Like you don't have to actually touch yourself with it to cut yourself. You have to even point at it and it'll just slice you from a foot away. But like first time I took that thing to an onion, I'm just like, holy shit. How have I never known this?
Yeah,
That you know, $150 knife will go through vegetables so easy, smooth, and you're actually less likely to
cut yourself. Yeah,
you're more likely to cut yourself mishandling it, but you're less likely to cut yourself from cutting because it cuts so well that
yeah.
you're not having to put the effort and doing something stupid into it.
Mhm.
Like the vegetable's not going to slip, you know,
Mhm.
under your hand because you're having to put too much pressure on it from cutting with a knife that even after you've sharpened it just isn't sharp enough. This thing is just stupid. And yeah, I kind of enjoyed that. I did go through an obsession with watching cooking shows recently too.
Did you?
I watched a ton of I got to watching Alex versus America, which led into watching guys grocery games and all sorts of other
uh,
crap. And I'd never watched those. So I went through 29 seasons of guys grocery games over the
oh
course of a
Jesus
couple of months.
Christ!
I just play it while I was playing on the computer or
Oh,
going to bed and stuff like that. And so it'd be background watching it. You know, I didn't focus on it, but it was a good time. It was something to entertain myself with that was new and different.
the other.
Amazon's got the Cantaloupe game, but is it priced appropriately? That's the question. Don't know what it should cost.
There do I. Yeah, there do I. I
Lance
think
must
I've
be
heard of it.
dealing
I
with a
just haven't
giant
played it.
flood.
What's that? Lance must be what?
Dealing with a giant flood. He may be building an ark right now.
Grabbing two of every item.
Yep. Let's have to pile everybody into the ark.
Yeah, he said he was walking through water. I was like, that sounds like more than one loot. Something else going on there, buddy.
Okay, I know what it costs at Miniature Market. So that tells me the Amazon price is just MSRP. All right. Ba-ba-ba.
yeah, yeah, I'm kind of same rut as you with the board games. I think Kickstarter hurt the industry a bit. Yeah.
Oh, and you know, well, I am actually backing something on Kickstarter for the first time in like forever right now. Um, I had to back the crossbows and catapults that went up because that looks like fun. But
Uh,
I backed off of that freaking monkey that was on my back forever. Um, yeah, let's go look at the Kickstarter wall of shame and see what's outstanding for me. It gives me some kind of random crap to talk about. Let's see. Let's go look at my backed projects. See what's not yet delivered. Well, crossbows and catapults, but that's because it's just now going.
yeah.
I got Scholars of the South Tigris that's out there at some point. Got Merchant's Cove Mastercraft, Dead Reckoning Letters of Mark, and Compounded Peer Review. Those are my outstanding, and they're actually the last pledges I made. So it's not like they're ungodly, and Compounded's a little late, but they've had good updates and nothing else is even due yet. And then I look and I'm like, all delivered, all delivered, all delivered, except for a game that
It's
I
never
backed
coming.
because somebody that was on the show, and I don't think it's ever coming. And then I get all the way back to Divinity Original Sin, the board game, which is, they're still working on it, but it's coming late because they've had to do some changes, and the Madeira Collector's Edition, which is running super late. And then everything else I've got. But I don't think I'll ever see Sea Rovers. I think that's
Rovers,
vaporware.
probably.
But I don't even go and look and see what's on Kickstarter anymore. It has to be something where, because I'll get the notifications when people that I know back stuff. And after I see the same people back a few things or the same thing a few times, like, oh, somebody backed this, somebody backed this, somebody backed that. Okay, now it's time to go take a peek and see
Yeah.
what's going on there. And otherwise, I don't even go look. Okay, Station Fall shows pre-order on Miniature Market.
Oh, so it's not over here yet.
Yeah. Let's go look. Ion Game Studios or Ion Game Station Fall. We'll just do it that way. Ion Game Design. It looks like I can buy it straight from them. Content.
700 euro.
Play board, rule book, character cards, blah, 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 blah. Extras. Downloads and videos. But all these had the toys in it. Does this one not have the toys in it? I want the toys in it.
I remember if this copy I saw had toys. I think it did.
All these had toys in it. I don't see toys in this one.
Yeah, but we're talking about Aldi. He has his own thing. Sometimes.
I
Yeah.
mean, I want the toys.
Everybody
Who
wants the
wants it if it doesn't
toys.
have the toys in it? Because standees suck.
I'm sure you could get the toys for
I
that
don't know.
cost. No?
I don't see it.
Huh. That's strange.
It does not say it has standees in the, or it doesn't say it has figures in the box for this $99. For $99, that'll come with the damn toys. Because I'm old and I'm allowed to bitch and say stuff like that for no reason with no rationale as to knowing actual costs of production.
Yes.
I'm allowed to just shout at the sky and say what I think.
Yes. Get off my lawn.
Exactly.
No, I agree. Board
Well,
games
we
are
didn't
expensive.
play it with the standees anyway. I don't think. I think we played with the tokens when we played, if I remember right. So I don't actually need the toys,
Yeah. I don't know.
but I want the toys because toys are cool. I should just buy it and be done with it.
You should.
1 to 9 players. See, I'll get that whole 9 players to the table. I'm telling you.
Well, yeah.
No, hell no.
I was gonna say.
That's why I don't need to buy this damn game. What I need to do is shut my mouth and just play it at BGG Con.
I was gonna say. All he said it was an okay game with more players, but I can't see
It's gotta be crappy at 4.
4.
It's gotta be crappy at 4 player. I mean, it's probably okay. No, it's not crappy because I played it 4 player. Never mind. It's fine at 4 player.
Yeah, stop lying.
I just think it would be way better with more. I think there's a lot more fuckery going on when you've got more than 4.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, the tables I saw were between 6 and 8, I think. No, 4 to 8. I remember one 8-person game. Like I said, they were looking at spreadsheets and this character, that character, I don't know, a lot of chips moving everywhere. Like, I'm sure once if I played it, yeah. Actually, if I sat there and watched a video and seen how it would play, I'd probably be all right.
I'm on here 50 minutes later than I planned to be, and I have to actually do work. I have an audit at work going on tomorrow.
All
You're
it-
about to be alone in 10 minutes.
Yeah, we'll
I'm
see what the
afraid.
hell's going on.
Oh goodness.
I can't even shut this thing down.
You'll just have to sit there and sing until he comes back, because that'll entertain the people.
Not better than sing. And I spend
Ah,
16 hours alone, so my life isn't that eventful. Yeah.
Kabuki's on here like doing real research and stuff. What's going on with that? Yeah, it was a $64 game. Oh, see, the miniatures were a $35 add-on. Yeah, we didn't play with the miniatures. I know I didn't use those, but I saw them. We
Now he
also
wants them.
we didn't use the neoprene mat when we played. I don't believe. I don't think we did. Project XB. Oh, we had the easiest lab experiment that all it did was help me when we played, which is pretty awesome. That was pretty cool. Again, I don't need the game because it's one of the, so I get it. It's that stupid collector in me that's like, hey, you should own this because it's cool and unique. Even if you're not going to play it very much, you should own it. And it's really dumb that I do that, but I kind of wants to buy it now. And I don't need to. But I kind of wants to.
What's what I wants?
Oh,
Yeah, I just went through that. Jen's big on Carcassonne again. And she wanted
get her an iPad. She can play to her heart's content.
She actually does. But she likes the board game too. And she wanted an expansion. I'm like, well, they changed the artwork and all this shit on the versions that we have in the new one. So we're gonna have to get the big, the new version. And might as well get the big box because it comes with a few expansions and all that.
I should just ship you my big box and be done with it. So
We already got it.
Oh, okay. But there's new stuff and a new big box, and that's what you need.
That's it. Yeah, the new big box. You have the 17, I'm sure. This is the 22 or whatever.
Oh, I'm sure. I've had it for years. So, yeah.
But it's like, I'm like, how many times am I going to do this? I've done this with 51st State. They got 2 or 3 new editions since then. Robinson Crusoe did. Yeah, it's like, Forrest is here.
Hey,
There, you got somebody to entertain you when I leave.
There we go. He will entertain us when you leave.
Dr. Bauer, I presume.
Him and his neck pillow.
how's it going?
It's going.
Lance run off?
just having
Yeah,
plumbing
he's
issues.
building an ark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw about his fridge. That sucks. Or his kitchen.
Yeah. Giraffe just walked by. Just loaded it up.
$21.27 shipping. What the hell, man?
From what?
For that game.
From where?
From, I don't know, wherever Ion Games is. Don't do it.
Don't need it.
Don't
Don't get to a
Don't
store.
need it.
Pick it up in a store.
Yeah. That's. I closed the window. Oh, I missed. There, I closed the window. Don't do it.
Yeah,
Don't do it. There we go.
You'll feel better in the morning.
I backed off.
That's always a good choice with games.
You
There
feel
we go.
good?
Backed off. Yeah, I feel good. Well, I told you how much I just spent on a damn dog, so I don't.
Yeah,
Really
you got to
need
play.
that. I don't need. Because I still got to buy new accessories for the new dog, right? Because she needs her own new shit. She can't use all the old dog shit. She has to have some brand new stuff that's just hers.
Yeah.
Oh, the cats are gonna be so pissed tomorrow night.
Yep. They usually are. They'll get over it.
Well, I mean, they did all grow up with a dog, so I don't know
but
that
this is
they
a
care
new
that the
dog.
old dog. But yeah, it's not just a dog. But you've never known a puppy.
Yeah. There's that.
Because dogs are chill, puppies are not.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
What have you been up to, Forrest?
Oh, Nothing much. Just chilling with the kids during the summer. Working on a pretty fun list for the channel. I'm doing the top 10 worst board game designers. See everybody talking about the best. And so I was like, what if I just go through like the bottom 5,000 games ranked on Board Game Geek and see who has the most bad games? And there's a lot. There's a lot. Look for like,
IDW.
So you do
no, I'm
have
talking
to,
about the actual designers, not the publishers.
you do have to clarify that. It has to be the top 5 worst published designers.
Got a point.
Because
Oh,
the
yeah.
worst never got published.
Never got published.
Forrest,
yeah.
I'm not leaving because you showed up, but I'm
Yeah,
leaving
he is.
because you have allowed me to leave by showing up.
I get
Because
that.
I was just talking that I was ready to go to bed, but I didn't want to leave Barry alone. So, good night, friends. Good to see you again.
Good to see us.
Hopefully, I'll see you in a couple of weeks, maybe.
All right, Keith.
Javier Zen.
What he said.
Yeah, but it's been fun just going through and just seeing. Like, this is actually surprising. Like, I feel like number one, not surprising. Reiner Nitzia has 49. Because, like, pretty much on Board Game Geek, there's 25,000 ranked games that have got enough. And so I looked at just the bottom 5,000, 20,000 to like 25,000, and he's got nearly 50 of them. I just get the impression that companies were just like, hey, make us a game. And he's like, yeah, I'll crap something out for you on a lot of them.
And you consider him the yeah, I guess. If
Well,
you're going
based on the
individual.
metrics. That's why I'm gonna have quite a wind up for the video to explain exactly how I did it.
Yeah.
And it's just purely who had the most, even though I did pinpoint who I think is probably the worst game designer of all time, which is interesting. He got 11 games. He's got 11 games. He's made 12 abstract strategy games, and 11 of them are in the bottom 5,000. And then the other one is like 1,987. So it's just barely. It's gonna be an interesting list.
Yeah.
Plus, I don't see anybody else like doing anything like that, so shouldn't have any competition as far as I know.
Probably not.
Sure, it'll piss some people off though.
I'm sure you will, especially looking at you. I mean, he pumps out, so he's got to have over 200, 300 games.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
He's got 49 in the bottom 5,000.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, that's what I mean. There's a couple of them that just pump them out like that. Even what's his name? The Point Out guy.
let's see.
He's made a couple of clunkers.
We got James Ernest of Cheap Ass Games, which really doesn't come as a surprise. I know he pumped out so many of those.
Yeah, they did pump out a shit ton over there.
Bruno Feduti made the list. He had 12 on there. Steve Jackson had 12 on there.
Jackson doesn't surprise me.
There's one woman, Carrie Breitenstein, of she did a whole bunch of the stuff from Twilight Creations. She had 11. So other than that, played some new games. I got one everyone should probably steer clear of.
Just
Battle of the Bay. Well, I played 3 games in the last 2 days, and 2 of them were terrible. One of them actually inspired me to do this list, The Haunting House, which somehow got 3 expansions. It is terrible. Terrible game. You go back to the Board Game Geek ratings of it, and it's just everyone's just like, hey, what's a house rule to fix this pile of crap? So I was really happy to get that one played again, get it reviewed, and then just literally just dump all the components into a giant trash can I have where I'm accumulating components. I'm gonna shoot a video where I'm in my bathtub, just neck deep in board game components.
like Scrooge McDuck in the pile.
Yep.
Hello,
Sure.
Forrest.
Hey, Lance, you ever play The Haunting House from Twilight Creations?
Yes, a long time ago.
What do you think about that one?
I don't remember much. I don't remember it being great.
It was not. It was a big pile of crap.
So that was there was the because they had Twilight Creations had the like the zombies.
Zombies.
That was their big claim to fame.
Bread and butter. It's like 20 expansions for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and people tend to, people tend to like shit on it, because it's just kind of a roll and move and a little bit of take that and whatever.
It's fun enough.
Well, no, and then the sad thing is that the designer, he passed away like 5-6 years ago.
Yeah. He co-designed it with his wife, who's going to be on this list I'm making of the worst board game designers of all time.
Well, that's nice. The guy died of lung cancer like 10 years ago. You're gonna make sure you
No. He's not on the list. He did not. He only had 6 games in the bottom 5,000. His wife had 11.
Oh,
and it's not my personal opinion either. It's all strictly numbers. Strictly
it
numbers.
is.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's just, I looked through 5,000 games on Board Game Geek and saw all the designers.
It's your bird. Damn you, Knizia.
So I mean, Zombies was obviously, I mean, a lot of people enjoyed it. I mean, it's a bubblegum game, I mean, it's just roll a bunch of dice. I'll say this, like we played a game of it at this is so long ago. This is before I even knew my wife. We played a game of it at my apartment, and I remember like at the very end, like it was like because the whole thing is either you have to kill a bunch of zombies or you have to make it to the helicopter and escape. And I remember my buddy Justin, he made it to the helicopter, and like the rest of us were just getting chewed to pieces. And then my buddy Shad played a card that immediately put something like 4 zombies on the spot that somebody's at, so literally like in the movie it was like he leaps on top of the helicopter, he's like, all right, let's go, and then he turns around and everybody on the helicopter is a zombie and they chew him up and kill him. And to this day we still talk about that. We still talk about like how hilarious that was for like that final moment, like he thought he was going to live and make it out of the whole deal. And yeah, we still giggle about how funny that is. So it gave us that. It gave us that like moment, right? So I mean, I'll
still in my collection.
Yeah, I mean,
well, you don't
the
get
Twilight
rid of
Creations had all kinds of stuff like that. They had those they had that haunting house thing. They had that when didn't they have one that was like all about like different horror movies? Like they tried to When Darkness Comes, that was it. And like each expansion for When Darkness Comes was a like an idea of like making it like another thing about a horror movie kind of thing. Yeah, so I mean, so yeah, so I remember when I first got into the board game hobby, this is before I got seriously in the board game hobby. I picked up Zombies just because I thought it would be fun to play, and it was. And then I picked up that When Darkness Comes game, and that was not as good. And then I remember that I mean never picked, and I picked up that Haunting House game or whatever it was. Ugh. Because it was like, oh, it's another Twilight Creation game, and it's like all this stuff, and so I was like, oh, well, we'll get that, and then that one, if I remember right, it wasn't very fun. It was just
incredibly random. Half the game is literally random, and then the other half is programming, and it's I revisited it, and I'm glad it's out of my collection now.
Yeah. So yeah, When Darkness Comes. Jump to the game will depend on the scenario. Some may include finding and defeating a big bad guy, finding a certain object, fusing a bomb, and so forth. And so,
where's that one? Is that one of the? I don't think that one was the one that she had in the bottom 20, the bottom 5,000. I don't think.
Yeah.
No, this one 19,400.
If you do a video like that, I'm
doing it. I'm shooting it tomorrow.
Shut up. When you do a video like that, you should probably say something along the lines of, it's very easy to sit back and and hey, look at this, we judge. But you know what? The vast majority of the people that are going to watch this video have never published a board game ever, and have never tried. And so it's like this is not a celebration of being awful. This is like, I mean, this is just purely like fact. And like I find this interesting kind of thing. Because if you do it like, oh, look how horrible these people are,
Do you
that's
think I
just-
have no tact, sir?
you have no tact. I'm
No,
just
I already got. I'm gonna have quite a wind up to the video explaining exactly how I did it. It's not my personal opinion. It's the numbers and all that sort of stuff. Because yeah, I know this could definitely ruffle some feathers.
well, it's not about ruffling feathers. It's just kind of like it's just kind of a shitty thing to do, right? I mean, especially
Why is
since
that?
the one guy's dead.
He's
I mean,
not on the list. I told you his wife's on the list, Lance, not him.
oh. Well, I stand corrected, I guess.
And plus, I think it's really interesting because it's almost like a testament to you throw enough shit in the wall and it's just someone's going to stick. Because the number one is obviously Reiner Knizia. He's got 49 games in the bottom 5,000. It's just keep putting out games and eventually some are going to be good.
Yeah, I mean, well, like that old saying or whatever, where it was, if you, like we talked about last week, I don't know if you were here, but the whole idea is that like anytime you create something, like whether if you're an artist, you create something, it's a little lottery ticket, and sometimes you
Mhm.
cash in, and sometimes you don't, and you just you take what you can get, kind of thing, So I mean, but I don't know. I give people credit where credit's due, and what have you. So anyway, other than that, life's good, Forrest.
Oh yeah. Just bought a new truck. I do have another game that I'd love to steer people away from.
You
though.
just bought a new truck.
No, focus on the games. Battle of the Babies. Absolutely just garbage. I can't, well, it's not garbage. There's a lot of cool ideas, but I can't picture, like I played the game and we did like a 3-person review and we played it twice. Because I just never wanted to play it ever again. I can't imagine who the game is for. Like it's just, it's a deck builder. Feels very, not balanced particularly well with the 4 asymmetric abilities. And it's not fun. It said it was going to be 60 minutes. It's done in 30. It feels like a Kickstarter game through and through. Little small box deck builder. Battle of the Babies.
Battle of the Babies.
Highly not recommended. And I wanted to love it.
Not recommended.
Hey, there's not enough people doing highly not recommended videos. They're just like, it wasn't for me. So I'm just not going to, I'll make an unboxing video on it.
I would like to highly not recommend this game.
I want to save some people some money here. I mean, that's our job as reviewers, right? Like it's like honest opinions. And this was, I went ahead and rated it like a 3 on Board Game Geek, which there's not many of them.
It's cute that you rated it.
Hey, rock the vote, baby, rock the vote.
Did it?
Yeah,
So it didn't inspire you, is what you're trying to tell me?
No, and I mean, I love deck building. It's got crude artwork. I enjoyed it. Like it's got asymmetric special abilities. I mean, it scratches all my itches, but this one just, I can't see who it's for. It does a really interesting thing where there's no trashing of any cards except for your starter cards, and you can just trash your starter cards like just whatever you want, pretty much, as long as you don't use them. Like it's got some interesting ideas, but it just didn't feel play tested enough.
Well, there
you
you
played
go.
at Thunder Mountain Forest?
Thunder Mountain. I don't
Yeah,
think
it's like-
so.
It's kind of like a deck building. It was okay.
Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, the Disney one?
Yeah.
No.
Jen picked it up and played it the last week, midweek. It was okay. It's a, like I said, a gateway deck building game. But
feel
that
like-
marble thing's a pain in the balls.
I feel like Prospera Hall does a pretty dang good job most of the time of making their games.
Hey, what kind of truck? Somebody asked. What kind of truck did you buy?
I don't know. It's a Ram. It's a 2006 Ram. It only had 39,000 miles, so we kind of jumped on it.
It's a
Owned
Ram.
assuming an old guy with a bunch of dogs because they had to clean out all the dog hair. There's tons of it.
2006 with 36,000 miles. Wow.
39, but yeah.
Yeah,
Same
whatever.
pretty much.
Yeah.
The gas guzzler, but other than that, like we were
That year it was, yeah.
pretty stoked for it.
Yeah.
Because now my aunt's got this little camper, so we're gonna hopefully
Son of a
take the
bitch.
boys on some trips.
Every one of you people get a truck like that. The first thing to do is let's get a camper.
Well, that's the whole reason we wanted it to haul.
So wait, so I mean, does that mean your daughter doesn't get to go? Just the boys get to go?
Oh yeah, I got a daughter too. Yeah,
Yeah.
she'll go. She'll go. She's a baby. I don't really think about it much, you know.
If you do get a camper, watch the weight limit on the truck, Forrest.
Oh, dude, 8,700 pounds of towing. Like this
All
thing
right.
is a beast.
Subtract about 2,000 pounds from that, and that's the camper size you want. All right.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
probably 3,000.
Good
People
evening.
forget the water tanks and all that.
Eric,
You're gonna load it with a bunch
Hey.
of stuff.
you got no camera.
Yeah, webcam is not happening tonight.
All right. Well, that's okay. So Eric, if you don't know who Eric is the designer of well, he's designed a few games, but I guess the game everybody knows him about is the
Oh,
Icefarian Guard.
I was hoping it wasn't Battle of the Babies.
That's
Oh my
the
gosh.
expansion I'm working on.
Yeah. Actually, fun story about your game. I wanted to try it out. And so I got my local library. They purchased a copy of the game, I'm pretty sure. So
the library did.
oh yeah. Like my buddy was like, hey, you can get the library to pretty much buy whatever you want if you just ask them. They got like this little form you fill out. So but I asked them to buy like these deluxe Kickstarter, like all in like $200, $300 games. And I'm pretty sure that yeah, because that's that big honking box. Yeah.
I was
this
gonna
one.
say I'm pretty shocked they got a shelf that can support it. To be honest,
Nah, they take it all out. They put it in bags. It's really weird how they do it.
Really?
interesting.
Yeah.
Oh no. I mean, no.
This
So
just saves space.
where I know Eric
Mm.
from is from the Stonebound Saga, which is a game I really liked. And then I just
Saga.
I got to know him from that and the expansions and stuff and yeah. But then you like you had this, I don't know, wild hair up your ass. You decided I'm going to make a 40-pound box of a game that is designed for 1 or 2 players.
Oh yeah, that's the way to go.
So Lance, did I ever tell you the original idea for what the Icefarian Guard was supposed to be?
Well, I assumed you were trying to do some weird, like your take on the Game of Thrones. That was the feel that I got when I saw it. I was like, okay, these are supposed to be, the King of the North and that sort of thing. But I'm sure I'm way off. So go for it. Tell me.
So Icefarian Guard is still the same world as Stonebound Saga, actually. Stonebound Saga was, a skirmish game. It didn't have any story. It was just player against player. And then Icefarian Guard was meant to be our first foray into narrative games. And it's going to be the first of a series of 7 games that explore the entire world of Telios.
Are they all going to be that big?
Not as big as Icefarian Guard, but they will be larger. But we promise future campaigns will actually fit in a Calyx cube.
Is that because you came to your senses and you said this is insane or what?
Well,
wait a minute, time out. It won't fit in a Calyx cube?
So it was supposed to fit in the Calyx cube. So the original sample did. I was working. We worked with Gameland, they do all the chip theory games.
Yeah.
And I went to them because this game's got weighted poker chips and they're good with poker chips. So towards the end of manufacturing, they had said that they needed to make some box adjustments because of some internal insert issues and adjustments. So I'm like, oh yeah, not a big deal, because I had already communicated to them, we gotta stay in these dimensions to make it in a Calyx cube. Well, for whatever reason, the engineer made one side too long, and I got a whole bunch of larger boxes that were larger than the proofs I approved. So yeah, wasn't really happy about that. Couldn't really go back on the current design without redoing a whole bunch of stuff. So we have a reprint scheduled now It's coming September 5th on GameFound, and a lot of people are asking for a smaller box or a redesign. So I am looking at different options to see if we could do, Lance, you've seen the box, possibly 2 boxes within a larger box. You could take the main lid off and then have 2 boxes that'll fit within a Calyx. But yeah, but what I was going to say from the beginning is when I sat down to design the Isofarian Guard, it was meant to be a small card game.
You really fucked that up.
Yeah, something happened there.
We sat down with the team. We're like, we need a quick, small game. Can actually have great margins. We can tell a story. And we sat down in the morning, and by the end of the day, we're like, grand narrative with huge books and poker chips, and then over the next 3 years of development, the scope creep got out of control. The story kept getting larger, and the rest is history. So I kind of rolled the dice and went all in on this project, hoping that people would love it. Knowing
Now's the
that
time. Everybody wants the biggest thing they can.
I really wish we could have got it out before the big C word, before the world shut down. That would have been a great game while everybody's in their home for a 1-2 player. But
That's not what I think of when you say the big C word.
I
the
don't think I
name
would
that
know what you were
YouTube does
thinking.
not like.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, but you did get it. I mean, obviously it's out and people are, Scott Alden, who's not well enough to join us, said, I think my Isofarian Guard got sent to my old house.
Oh no.
That is an oh no. What are they going to do with a 40-pound game at your old house? You could still call them though, Scott. I bet you they could say something, but just. I mean, what are they going to do? Maybe they're using it to like hold up a wing of their house or something.
Maybe it's their gateway game. Maybe they'll steal it, and that'll just be what brings them into the hobby. Who
Yeah.
knows?
That would be a hell of a gateway game and a hell of a story.
Scott, I can get you another copy. I think I've got 5 left in my office. Everything else is sold out. FYI.
Yeah, Scott, if you need his email or whatever, I got it, so you can, so there's a copy in the. I mean, Scott will play it because he plays all his games, but I mean, Scott will put it in the BGG library though. So, and then people can enjoy it.
Check it out, look at it, put it back.
Yeah, check it out. The BGG library, it's so great when you see somebody go into the board game library.
Mhm.
It's like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night on like a Saturday or a Friday, and you see them and they grab something just absolutely immense. Like even if it is like Gloomhaven, or if it's like Descent, or just some giant adventure game that takes an hour to set up, and you just want to say, what are you doing? Just like you're gonna take this back to a table, you're gonna open it up, you're gonna look at it, you're gonna say, you know what, no, and then you're gonna pack it back up, and you're gonna bring it straight back, and you're gonna check out Just One.
That could be the best game they ever had.
Maybe
I doubt it, but it could be the best game they ever had.
Well, no, I mean it's just too much. It's too much for the. I mean, like when we got our copy, I told you that, Eric. I mean, my son and I, we cracked it open, and we played through the very beginning of it, and he was hooked right away. I mean, it was just one of those things where it was like the story and everything like that. And he's like now full into playing D&D with his buddies, So I mean, this was kind of a nice way for us to play, like when it'll be like when he doesn't, because like this Friday he was supposed to have his friends over to play D&D, and I DM'd their group, but it sounds like a couple of them are out of town, can't make it, so it's like, oh well, he'll get let down. Well, no, we can just go lug that box over, young man, and we'll crack it open and we'll go for it again. I mean, what made you decide it was just like, see how much we can cram into this sucker? I mean, and just the
original idea was, I mean, remember when I sat down with you in,
that was BGG-Con, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think 2018. It was like the year before we launched on Kickstarter.
That was when the BGG-Con had the 2 separate that was at the old place that BGG Spring is still held in, and it has the two. It had the two dealer halls, the
Yep.
exhibit halls.
Yep. Yep.
So, and then I remember it was like, and you get stuck in the scummy one, like the also ran room. But I remember I went over there and you had the whole thing with the headphones and everything set up, and I was like, I was enthralled. Like
It was a
the
good
moment-
thing I got set up in that room though, because that's actually where I was introduced to Gameland and switched
Oh.
from my existing manufacturer over to them. So that worked out. But
Nice.
yeah, I was gonna ask you if you were playing it with Foreteller or not. This
Yeah,
time.
we are.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool,
So
cool.
I mean, that way it's just, yeah. I mean, it helps with the immersion so much,
Mhm.
like. And where did you find your voice actors?
So all the voice actors are cast by Foreteller. They go through a casting process where I give them the script. They separate everything out into individual scripts, and then they go look around for the right people, from character briefs that we provide to them.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then they give us, several auditions for them. And then I say, hey, that's the voice, that's the sound I'm looking for. A couple of them I had specific requests for characters. And then this one's a little unique for Foreteller. We're the only project for them that has custom orchestral music. So music is really important just for me. I'm a musician. I've been playing percussion and piano for over 30 years.
I had no idea.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
So when I sat down for this one and started messing around with piano themes and sounds for this, I knew I wanted custom music and music that actually kind of ebbed and flowed with the scenes. It just makes a difference. So it's not just background music happening for a scene. So I hired a composer and then had Foreteller record the voice actors and then give it to the composer, had him compose the music to it, and then mix it together to create that custom sound. It turned out beautiful.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it just kind of hit with a lot of different things for me. I mean, obviously with I've always been a fan of bag building, and so I dig that. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just like, I mean, did you, when you were making it or whatever, I mean, like, how often, I mean, I have a million questions about this, so I apologize, but I mean, no, I mean, as far as the mechanisms and stuff like that, you say you started off with this, like, simple little card game or whatever, and then, but I mean, why did you eventually go to, like, bag building? Why did you, things like that? I mean, was there a game you really liked that had bag building that you wanted
No,
to do now, or?
with board game design specifically, as a designer, I really don't like looking at other board game designs. I'd like to come up with something completely unique. And just being honest, I was a video gamer before I was a board gamer. So a lot of my, inspirations and ideas come from more video games. And actually, when I look at reviews on BGG, I see a lot of, this reminds me of playing a JRPG game, and a lot of open world exploration and and that kind of a thing. But the chip idea was, I knew I did not want to use dice. I wanted.
And why? Why did you not want to use dice?
Just because, dice are in tons of stuff. I had used a dice system in Stonebound Saga. I wanted something random, but I wanted the way to activate the cards. As you place the chip on the card to show that it's active. So I knew I needed, I could have went with chits too, and went with a smaller and cheaper option, but just that, chunky weighted chip in your hand, mixing them together and then drawing them and placing them on a card. It was just something that came to me one evening, and I just went with it.
Sorry, just heard my dog bark. I want to make sure there wasn't anything very cool. No, never mind. So you mentioned you're doing the reprint. I mean, because basically you sold out of all of your copies. Well, you just said you had 5 copies left.
Yeah, I've got like 5 or 6 behind me, and that's it.
And then, well, yeah, there's probably like a mountain behind him. And it's just big, but he doesn't have his webcam working. So he can't when are you gonna launch?
September 5th. So it's on GameFound now as like a, follow page, but it
Yep.
just says Q3. Yeah, I actually we've said September 5th on a couple different posts and on Kickstarter, but there's no countdown yet on GameFound because you technically have to have a fully approved page for them to activate the countdown for you. So I probably need to update some graphics on there to show that September 5th is the day. So less than 2
Well,
months.
just a small 6,620 people eagerly awaiting
Just,
you to
just a
launch.
couple.
That's all.
Yeah, just a call. Why are you using GameFound over Kickstarter?
Yeah, that was
Kickstarter sucks. No.
Ah.
no. I'm using GameFound currently for a pledge manager for our other title for Dungeons of Infinity.
Yeah.
And have had some good experience using it for that. Definitely more feature rich than Kickstarter is. It's a little bit harder to use in some areas on the back end, I'm not gonna lie, but they're getting better. And particularly I switched because reprints tend to do better on GameFound, larger project reprints than
Really?
Kickstarter, according to the math, according to the
Yeah.
data. And I looked at a big set of projects and comparisons, and there's been, of course, a couple exceptions to that rule, but decided to lock in with them, kind of a trial run to see how we do, and if we do well, I'll continue to do our future projects on them as well.
You gonna be at Gen Con? Or I suppose you don't, if you don't really, I mean, you
We
won't
are.
have,
No,
you are, okay.
Yeah, we're gonna be there. I actually, just like we did at Origins, I'm gonna share a booth with Foreteller again, and we're actually rotating with a couple other publishers in their booth this time. But because we are sharing a booth with them, I think they got a small 10x10. So we're in there with Grigori, with Succubus, with Madara, and what's the other one? They've got another game in there. So there's like 3 or 4 other publishers. So we're going to rotate out. So more than likely, when I'm not in the booth showing off the games, we'll be walking around. I got some custom poker chips made from Gameland. One side is a QR code that takes people right to the follow page of the reprint. And then the other side has some graphics for the game. So we're going to be throwing those poker chips everywhere, giving them out to people in the booth after they take a look at the box, and pushing the reprint as much as possible.
That's cool.
That's yeah, I mean, I can't even, I mean, so is it a straight reprint? Is there anything for people that backed the original one, like to get, or anything like that? Or
Yeah, so I'm planning, that's something that's, I see a lot of previous campaigns. It's important to get right and take care of the, initial backers that helped make the vision possible. So I'm definitely doing a upgrade pack for people that already have a copy of the game. We are adding some things, and we're not doing an expansion because the game is big enough already. I don't need to go, it's 300 hours if you do
What's
everything
one
in the
more
game.
box?
So
yeah, what's one more box?
That's it?
no boxes,
Cram it
no
in there.
boxes. But yeah, I'm definitely adding some things to the game, and we are doing a pretty sizable revision and updating to the book. So the rule book, the reference guide, the player aid, things like that. So I decided that as part of the update pack, I'm going to give the updated stuff that we're doing to our existing owners at no cost. And the new stuff that we're adding to the game that's part of that pack is the only thing that they'll pay for. So they still have to pay something, but they're not paying for the stuff that's being updated. And I think that's only fair for people that helped us make the game happen.
Yeah,
I
I mean, that's,
think that's more than generous of you.
Yeah.
us,
Yeah.
I mean, at Gray Fox, like we did that with the thing where it's like, oh, if you bought it, we'll throw this in with you so you can,
Exactly right. But yeah, really excited about some additions that we're adding. We're kind of keeping that close to the chest as far as what we're revealing, because while it's not an expansion, it does technically add some significantly cooler new things to the game that change it up quite a bit. I think, I've been really blown away at the reviews and ratings so far. I think I don't know where we're at right now. I think like a 9.1 or something like that.
Hold on, before you go any further, how many games have you made? I want to see if you make Forrest's worst publisher artist list.
Only 3 so far. only
Okay,
3.
yeah.
You gotta be in the bottom 5,000. I think he's probably good. That's rarefied air right there.
You could be in there with Knizia.
But yeah, the reviews have been great. I've been blown away, but when I do see some, critique to it, even from people that love the game, the word grinding comes up, and it's an open world, big sandbox, so that if people want to go out there and get all the best stuff and do all the things, yeah, you're doing a lot of repetitive things, and even though the mechanics are fun, it can feel a little grindy. So I'm making some adjustments and doing some things in the reprint to specifically combat that, and give players some options to streamline some of the mechanics. And I'm hoping that takes a great game to amazing.
I think that's cool. It's a second edition, but you're not forcing it on people. I think that's cool.
Yeah,
in a sense, not a straight out second edition. But,
yeah, we're not going full Gloomhaven for sure. Definitely not new art and everything else, but just some new stuff. Evening, Evan.
Howdy. Oh, I'll be right back.
I liked it when Evan
Peace.
had the red light around him. It looked like he was in hell.
yeah, look, kill room.
Which look, kill room, very much kill room.
Little photography rooms.
Evan showed up and he vanished. Well, what's up with that?
I don't know.
Um,
Something must happen.
Yeah.
The wife called him or something.
Yeah.
Don't know.
I don't know. I think that's great. You're gonna be able to. There's a ton of people who didn't get it or didn't. I can see in the comments there's a lot of people saying things along the lines of, it's like, is it gonna cost more this time? It's just like,
Did you see how much I had
it
it?
will be.
Did you see how much I had it on Kickstarter in 2019?
Well, wasn't it like $100 and some bucks or something?
Oh, Lance.
What was it?
You gotta fall out of your chair.
$59.99.
No, you're close. $79.
Holy
No.
shnikes.
Wow.
Yes. Yes.
So how did I don't even joke. How did cashing in your 401k work to get this?
I did have to kind of personally bring it across the finish line. It was a passion project, for sure. But yeah, the scope creep and how large the game got, it definitely got up there. So yeah, the price is not going to be $79 on the reprint. But when
I
we
can see somebody asked if it could be, will it still be the same price?
yes, well, I don't know
Is
if that
anything
question
from 6 years ago?
Yeah, I don't know if they were specifically asking if it was going to be the original Kickstarter price or the price that we had it on the web store. So once we deliver the games and resold the extra copies from our web store, we had it listed at the MSRP, which was $160, which was still pretty low comparatively to what's in the box, in my opinion. A lot of people say they say like mid 200s or something like that, comparable to like a Frosthaven. But the box even bigger actually. But it's something that I just wanted out there, and I wanted people to play. I didn't want, I'm not out there to make a ton of money. I'm out there to bring joy to people. That's why I got into this industry in the first place. I wanted people to make memories around the table. So yeah, the price for the reprint, I don't really want to cross above 200. I want to stay under that as much as possible, but it won't be 79 this time.
Well, cool. It's when you're dealing with thousands of people, there's always going to be somebody that's unreasonable, right?
Yeah. I'm glad there's people like you in the industry.
It's not fair that the people that backed it in the first place got the cheaper price. Just be like, ah.
Yeah, that's kind of an absurd thing to go with anyway. With any older game,
because there's nothing you can say that'll make them happy. So you just kind of just have to say, all right, sorry, and move on with your life. So, but no, I mean, no, good for you, man. I think I'm really looking forward to seeing how much it's gonna explode the second time around. I mean, I think it'll I think, and if I were you, I'd be super jazzed and excited, in my opinion. But that's just
I'm definitely excited about it. Yeah, just kind of being honest. I feel like I'm doing exactly what I love to do. Like I'm using, you know, all the creativity in me for music, for art, for design. I'm loving every second of it, except for shipping. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. The shipping and fulfillment part of publishing is, if I had hair, it would be gone. But yeah, I love every other part of it. I love the people. I love playing the games. It's definitely it's a love. So yeah, I'm very excited about the reprint.
It's cool. I'm glad there's still people in the hobby left. Like I was saying, unlike that
labor of
Lance
love,
person,
right?
that Meister person. Oh, he's kind of
Yeah, he sucks.
jerk off.
He's a pile.
Yeah.
So I mean, so you said you have like 7 different worlds or whatever. So I mean, you're gonna do this reprint, which cool. But
Uh-huh.
then what are you gonna? What's after that then? I mean, what's the next world, or what's the next whatever?
Well, I mean, if or then is really the word. It's what happens with the reprint will really determine whether or not I continue in the industry. It just because of how the first one did and how I kind of had to go all in. I kind of have to be at a position to where the amount of time that I'm investing and pouring into it has to be somewhat sustaining or sustainable for me to continue. So it's really going to depend on what happens with the reprint. But if it gets to that point, and I would love it to, then we definitely want to go down that road. Now, I am or have already started that process. So we are working on the second title. We're not too knee deep in yet because, finances, we can't let that get out of control until we know the reprint will do well.
Right.
But the second title is in development already. I cannot say too much about that one, but we learned a lot about scope creep and what we want to do with this one, all the mechanisms we want to introduce. We know that, I said there's 7 countries in this world, so we're moving to a different country. I'm loving that design already and what we're doing with the story and mechanisms. I think people are going to love it. So as long as the reprint goes well, I think we will make an announcement and start showing that off mid next year.
So if the publishing didn't pan out, would you be willing to go to another publisher, just as a designer?
Yeah. I've got a couple different plans if things were to go that way with the, let's say the reprint didn't go as high as I'd like it to, or as sustaining as I'd like it to. I would either look to continue designing if it were possible, or possibly just sell all of our IPs and work on, and move on. But I'm hoping that's not going to happen. So,
Yeah, so do I.
the plan is that this is a success and I can continue doing what I love.
Yeah, hopefully it does work out that way.
So I mean, just not that it's any of my business, but you said you've been playing piano and percussion for 30 years or so. I mean, what do you is that your real job, like a musician, or what do you do for
No. When I was younger, it was kind of my job. I was in a Dave Matthews tribute band for many years and toured around.
DMB, baby.
Did some studio work, did some fun stuff, but the regular job is I actually work in IT. I'm a storage guy. So work for a larger corporation doing that kind of stuff, and am blessed to be able to work from home most of the time. So yeah, I mean, that pays the bills, but that's not the love.
Right.
So yeah.
That's cool.
Well, I mean, yeah, just gotta find your time when you find it, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, with the publishing and the board game stuff now, you know, the last 3 years for Isofarian Guard, the typical day looked like, you know, wake up, work IT stuff until 4:30 in the afternoon, you know, make sure I'm focusing on the wife and the kids until, you know, while they're awake until they go to bed. And then once they go to bed, you know, I start working on publishing stuff until midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning, get 4 or 5 hours of sleep, repeat for
Yeah.
3 years in a row.
Yeah.
And, you know, while I can keep doing that for a little bit, I did, you know, approach burnout a couple different times throughout the development cycle, but it was worth it. The passion kept me going and loved what I was doing.
Yeah. All right. So when you're not playing your own games,
You're not gonna ask me if I actually have time to play board games, are you?
well, no, you don't. You don't. I know full well that you're as a publisher, like you get to play test your own and over and over and over.
That's it.
But
And then-
Blanche, he still loves the hobby. You don't.
I love the hobby plenty.
I got a couple game nights in there with the team and with some people here and there, but it was not super often.
My biggest thing is that you tend to it's the problem I think for me, and I've said this for, is that it's not the number of games I played. It's like it's well, it is the number of games. It's just the fact that I played so many different ones. Like, I mean, it's
Yeah.
that weird. Like I have this kind of like thing where it's like
There's nothing new. I get it.
yeah. So I've played so many different board games that like they tend to kind of just run together eventually until, I mean, and this is going to sound like I'm kissing Eric's ass, but then you find something like Isofarian, which like is like kind of a breath of fresh air and just kind of like, wow, there's nothing else being made like this. But I mean, you know, I mean, I can't even really play straight Euros anymore. It's so dull for me.
Yeah.
It's
You're
just,
right. That does sound like you're kissing Eric's ass.
yeah, I know.
Dude.
Push this cube, add this there, turn your head, cough, you know, I mean, just it's like it's just the same thing. It's just a different it's just a different way of putting it together or whatever. What happened to you, Evan? Did Beth call or something or what?
I wish. No. I had actually a very good phone call from a publisher who's going to make an offer on one of my games.
So
Or
so they're going to say we'll publish it and you'll say yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Because
I'd be like, I like what you've done here. I like what you've done here. Yes.
Just don't explain the game yourself. You'll be all right.
I know, right? Oh man, I'm so bad at that.
You were the worst.
It's true.
Oh, I have the designer right here. He can show you how to play the game.
No, he can't.
No,
yeah.
that's a bad plan.
You put the thing. So Eric, in case Evan is one half of the design team that made After the Empire for us, which is a very popular game that we published.
Nice.
And it worked great, Fox. And like at Gen Con last year, he was by the booth. He was just hanging out, and somebody was like, "Oh, what's this game? It's After the Empire. How does it play?" I was like, "I'm glad you asked." I was like, "Here's Evan Halbert, one of the designers of it," and he's like, "Oh, okay." And he starts like, got like 3 rules wrong in the first 30 seconds of explaining it, and our friend Jerry just said, "Here, I'll just show it."
No, that's when Roy wandered by and he.
Oh yeah, that's right. Roy wandered by and was like, "Here, let me take over."
Yeah.
Since I don't even.
Roy was like, "Let me sell your game. Let me sell your game."
Yeah.
There we go.
1,000 people have this game on their wish list on BGG, Eric.
Oh,
1,000 people
Oh.
want Isofarian Guard. It's on their wish list.
Getting there. Hey,
Oh,
there's some on
fancy.
eBay.
I
Around
saw,
what,
I saw, I saw, I
$600?
saw Noble Knight is selling one for $375. So,
375.
Yeah,
Whoa.
yeah, that was one of those retailers that I asked if they had a brick and mortar, and
well, Noble
Um,
Knight does. They do.
they do, and
They
they also
have
have a web
one.
store. Yeah.
And they have one guy
Uh-huh.
who sits behind a counter who
Yeah.
they say, "Do you have this?" And he points them to a computer that has the website.
That's right.
It's a
Yeah.
kiosk in
Right
the middle of
there.
them all.
It's like when I was in Warhammer, when you walked in the Warhammer store, it was like, "Oh, don't see what you like." There's a they had an iPad,
Yeah.
like a really big iPad set
Ooh,
up.
they were fancy.
Yeah, just like if you wanted, you could order whatever you wanted. They'd ship it directly to the store for free after you
Yep.
paid, obviously. But
Yeah.
I
They didn't
think I
give you a
told-
discount. We always gave a discount when people pre-ordered.
I don't know, maybe.
They
I mean,
should've.
no, probably not. If I
Really?
remember,
Actually, never done
I'm
that.
so glad I'm not in that hobby anymore. I am
Yeah.
I'm so glad I'm not in Warhammer anymore. I mean, I loved it. I really,
Yeah.
really enjoyed
I mean,
playing
it has its good things, which is why so many people love it, right?
Yeah, but I am just like, but the thing about it was it's and this isn't shocking news to anybody listening to this. Like the amount of time people talk about Warhammer, think about Warhammer, plan their Warhammer army. It's like 95% of that, and 5% of it is actually sitting down and actually having a 300 point battle on a table somewhere. It
Mhm.
just
And
it
then
just
there's the
never
whole-
happens.
And then there's a whole other 10 hours a day that you need to paint the armies, right?
Well, yeah, but the thing was with me, I mean, like once they came out with the contrast paints, I mean, if you wanted to just get your army up and ready,
Just-
I mean, yeah, you could paint it pretty quickly. I mean, because like to field an army, they have to have three colors in a base. That's so you could, all right, my Marine has a green helmet, blue boots and a red armor. Done. I mean, you'd look like garbage, but you could field it technically. I mean,
but it's painted. It's painted.
when I would go to the Warhammer store and people would be playing, I mean, half the time people's armies were just a mass of gray because they hadn't painted any of it, or some of it would be primed, some of it would be white
Right,
because they had
right.
primed it.
It's legal. It's legal.
Yeah, no, I mean, fun system though, really fun system. I mean, it's like, you mean, you tend to have to, I mean, but also not to sit here and talk Warhammer, but the thing that drove me crazy is like I loved playing the little skirmish battles. That was like the most fun I had, was playing the okay,
small
each
point.
person, each person's got 10 units, that kind of thing. That was where I liked that. But I'd see these people and it was like literally two guys sitting across the table from each other, and like for the first hour and a half they're all just writing out what their army has. You're like, okay, and then these are my flamer units, and this is this unit, and this is these, and these guys have this item and this item and this item, and then presenting that spreadsheet to the opponent so they can go over it all, and like, okay, after 2 hours, and now we're gonna spend a half hour putting our units on the table. Okay, here we go. Just losing my mind. That's why I played the fantasy version of it too. I couldn't stand the
What was your fantasy squad?
Well,
Let me guess. You were an orcs guy.
no, I wasn't actually. No, I really wanted to do an orc army at one point. I did, but no, I was Nagash, Lord of the Undead. Just because you could just wave after wave of skeleton troopers, and Nagash could just replenish them. It was just like, it was just you would end up, you'd have just tons of skeleton spears that could just basically be a tar pit that everybody would just get stuck in, and they couldn't do anything. And then you just had ghouls that ran around the outside and were your strike units. And Nagash just sat back casting spells. My daughter was a the Slan, the toads, the space toads. in the fantasy one. I forget what they're called now. But they were like they were like the Star Toads. They came from the cosmos, and they came down, and they had all
Big
of
frogs.
Lake
yeah, they
toads.
basically they were star frogs,
All
and
right.
they were so powerful. And then I remember I bought her. There's the stuff that's normal for Warhammer, and then there's their studio that makes like weird miniatures for stuff like outlandish things. And then there's this basically the Star Toads rode dinosaurs into battle. Go figure. Anyway, and but then they had the Dread Saurian, which was basically a 3-foot long miniature. It was just basically a giant dinosaur. And like, it was just like, it was like, oh, 400 point armors. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to have these 5 guys and this, just like the Dread Saurians here. They didn't even sell a base for it. You had to basically make a base for yourself. And like, I saw all these people that would just basically like, oh, I went and bought a dinner platter and I mounted it on that.
Dread saurians are few in number and sacred to the lizard men.
Yes, the Dread Saurian. And that was back when they eventually gave the Space Toads the ability to summon. Like if they gained enough fervor, they could summon things. And one of the things is if he gets 20 points of summoning, you could summon another Dread Saurian. So the idea, there was actually one where my daughter was playing, and they actually finally killed the Dread Saurian, but she had saved up 27 points, and she was like, "On my turn, I will summon."
Yeah.
The Dread Saurian.
The skink priests give up offerings of sacrifice to these mighty demigods.
Yes.
I love it.
You love it?
Anyway, I don't want to go down a Warhammer thing.
Yeah.
So I mean,
It's already been done.
yeah, no. I mean, I don't know. Eric, did you ever play ever play any big giant miniatures games or anything?
No, well, maybe Warhammer way back in the day.
Yeah, one time in college.
You'd remember it if you played it. It wouldn't be I don't know.
No,
I played Warhammer.
It was like like 1 or 2 it was nothing where I bought my own army or anything like that. It was like a sit in and try this out. Stonebound Saga was a gigantic tabletop miniature game back in the day before it came a card game.
Yeah.
How old were you when you got into board games?
Designing or actually playing board games. I mean, not too long before I did or published Soulbound Saga, so 2014, 15, something like that.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't get it. I was in my 30s actually. Early 30. Yeah, actually 30. Yeah. I never really played when I was a kid either.
Yeah, early 30s as well for me. Yeah.
Oh, non sequitur, but anybody know why Tebaru? Anybody remember that? Simon was
Tebaru?
going to put it out, and then they're not anymore.
I don't recall that one.
It was the digital thing. It's just I'm looking at their upcoming Game Found project, and I got those little bells going off like, oh shit, something doesn't look right here.
What is this?
Tebaru is the digital tabletop, but they're going to do.
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah. So it's
Wait, they're still doing this?
Well, no, they haven't even started manufacturing of the one they put out, the Bad Karmas, and now they're coming to Game Found next month with a different game. And
what's the game called?
It's fucking it's the one that was on Kickstarter was the Bad Karmas and the Curse of the Zodiac. Then they got yet another Vampire the Masquerade game because we need more of those.
Yes, we do.
On Game Found, and I'm going to take a swing here, and I'm going to say, I don't know, I'm really concerned about this. Like, if this Game Found doesn't work, like, it seems odd because they're launching in 12 days, and they haven't even started manufacturing the other one on Kickstarter. Now they're switching over to Game Found.
The Tebaru system.
Yeah, and it's like it's not just a game; it's like a whole big system thing, and it's It's got my red flags like waving here. Like I would not be surprised to see this bomb or not do nearly as well as they're hoping it is.
Is red flag are up?
Like, yeah, I was on the game found for Pull the Pins new game, or they're redoing Good Cop Bad Cop, and they pulled the plug. Like it just massively bombed. And they're like, yeah, this is our worst first day of like 14 projects on Kickstarter or whatever. And yeah,
12,400 followers.
that's a good number though. Okay, that's a good number. I didn't see that. I wasn't looking at that part. Yeah, 12.5K. Wonder what the price is going to be on that.
Well, they've got the free mini gift. That
Oh
usually
yeah, that moves the
shoots
needle.
those numbers up.
It's concerning to me when they're like, yeah, we're doing another Tebru game. And it's like, hey, we haven't started manufacturing the first one, but
That's the
Damn
new
it.
system now.
we're doing another one.
That's how things work now, Forrest. You know that?
Yeah.
I
Got
can't believe
paid.
Good Cop Bad Cop is still being published. I mean, it's not a bad game, right?
I think it's a
fun.
great game.
That doesn't
But-
surprise me. There's new gamers all the time. Yeah. There's a few of them games like that.
Mm.
And new
Mm.
gamers do love them party games.
Well, I mean, look at this isn't me trying to like trash on anybody. I mean, I don't.
Oh
know.
yeah, trash those
Being
motherfuckers.
Minnesota,
I
Reds.
don't-
Here we go.
I don't know. I don't know what's a good game or what's a bad game.
Oh, we know.
or anything like that. I mean,
Get the
anything I
fucking
say
job
is
done.
get some fucking job
Job
done.
done.
I would so watch that channel.
Oh,
every
God,
single
Lance.
time.
One day, I will make that channel after I am after I retire and nobody can like be mad at me for saying what I gotta say. You know, just like
This
yeah,
game right here, it gets the fucking job
yeah,
done.
it's like
all
yeah,
fun and
okay, you'll
games till it
set
gets to
this
you,
up,
Evan.
you'll deal some cards, you'll move some cubes, you'll roll some dice. Somebody will have those victory points. You might have fun, you might not, but you know what? You'll get 75 minutes out of it and you'll talk with your friends. It gets the fucking job done. Next. Just like,
It's all
Oh, I
fun and
love
games
it.
till we get
but
saved.
no, I mean, so
I'm
we're all
taking
fami-
notes to put this on my next game on the back.
Yeah, yeah.
It gets the job done.
So
So
no,
good.
Keith Matika, Thunderworks Games. He launched basically the same guy who designed Cartographers. He launched this Stone Spine Architects game, and it's got 1,800 backers, and like
Yeah, I
it's got
backed
like it got 70 grand, which whatever they're gonna publish it, they're gonna make it. But you're like, and I was looking at this, and I was just kind of like, okay, this looks kind of cool. It doesn't look bad at all, but I mean, but it's also one of those things where it's like. I'm looking at this and I'm like, well, it's like you can't rely on the designer name anymore, right? I mean, like back in the day, it would be like, oh, well, that person designed this freaking
Reiner
game.
Knizia fucked it for all of us with his 49 games in the bottom 5,000.
Goddamn Knizia. Cathal, you were saying. Who else was on that list?
No,
So-
it's Faduti.
I'm sorry,
get
Bruno.
the right Bruno.
Wrong
bro.
Bruno. I'm sorry,
Steve
Bruno.
Jackson. He's got 12 of them.
Lance, you can feel pretty confident about this one, though. This one was designed by Kirk. What's his name? Kirk Dennison. He did Rurik.
Well, Rurik's amazing.
That
Dawn
one.
of Kiev.
Well, yeah, and Kirk works for Keith now. Like,
Yes.
he's like his second in command kind of
Yep.
guy.
Great guy.
Which I like Kirk. I like Kirk a lot. He's a good dude. But yeah, I mean, it's just kind of like, I don't know. I mean, it might be amazing. I don't know. It probably is. It probably is a good game. But I
You'll
mean, there's
never
so many
know.
games. There's so many shut up. There's so many games that come out now that are just like ultimately forgettable, like immediately forgettable. It's like, hey, here's this game. Okay, whatever.
After the Empire, for instance.
Battle of the
Yeah.
Babies.
It sucks.
So one day I'll play it. I swear, Evan.
Hey, you don't have to,
And the
you don't have to
more
make empty promises.
and that's the other thing too. So and then
I
the
meant that
more
BGG. I just
the more
forgot
I
about
actually
it.
click-
I really did.
the more I actually click on any sort of any sort of like video channel, like, oh hey, here's this guy that's got his new game and it's whatever, and I'm like, and you're like, okay, and I'm like, who is this video channel? Where did they come from? You know, just like literally, and just it's like I used to laugh and joke. I was like, you want to find a video reviewer? Throw a rock at Gen Con, you'll hit like 5, you know, just like you'll, but it's like here's this guy rolling with the beard, and he's got like 530 subscribers, and he's like trying hard, and he's got a good camera, he's got a nice table, he's got a nice setup, and he's doing action cut marks and all this stuff, and I'm just kind of like, this guy's just smashing it as hard as he can, you know, and he's
the industry didn't beat him down yet.
He's gonna get burned out, man. He's gonna get burned out.
The industry hasn't beaten him down yet, and that's just it. I mean, I'm just like, and because here's the deal. It's like, and then I try to explain these to people, anybody who listens, it's just like, oh, you want to have a channel and do your thing or whatever. This guy's got 96 videos, 530 subscribers. He's got 1/5 of the videos as he has subscribers. This guy deserves more people watching his stuff. But he's pumping out something every 6 days. He's you know, I don't know. I
lost in the shuffle though.
No, that's ultimately what it is. It's like there's everybody that's out there that's doing this stuff. It's just there's nothing about them that's, I don't know, like it's not different enough, right? I mean, it's just kind of like, you know, I mean, and nobody's got time. This is horrible to say, but nobody's got time to like, oh, hey, here's this new guy that's doing, or this new lady that's doing a thing. Why would I go to you for my information? Because I've already got these other like 17 channels that I watch.
There's 17 channels, 13 of them be gone in about 3 years.
Well, yeah, and that's just it. It's just kind of like, because they don't, I mean, we've talked about this many times, but it's just like they get into it and they're like, oh, hey, this is gonna be awesome. I'm gonna make videos and people are gonna talk and I'm gonna do this, that, and the other thing. And maybe they're getting everything that they want out of it. But here, this guy has been making videos for damn near almost 3 years now. I've never seen him once before now.
What's the name of this channel?
Rolling with the Beard.
I think I'm subscribed to him actually.
Yeah. Never heard of him before in my life.
But that's because you hate the hobby.
No, yeah. No, I don't. I think the hobby is amazing. And
when
I
you're
like
making money from it, but other than that, you hate the hobby.
You don't know.
Yes, I do. You bitch about it all the fucking time.
You take your you.
Oh my God, so fancy with that backlight.
I know, isn't he though? He's like super fancy, and he's doing little like cut screens and everything.
His heart hasn't been broken yet.
He's hardcore in it, man. I give that guy all the credit in the world. But I don't know, man. It's like, what are the biggest channels out there right now? I mean, Dice Tower, no pun included.
Shut up and sit down.
Shut up and sit down.
No rolls barred. They broke in huge.
No rolls barred. But I mean,
then again, what they were doing from the wrestling stuff.
Yeah, and no rolls barred is it's also like it's an actual studio in England. And because the one guy, their main guy, that Adam guy, who somehow escaped being canceled after doing some pretty horrible stuff. But anyway, in the chat.
Yeah.
No, you can find it. You just type in Adam Lampier, whatever, and you'll find whatever like controversy you want. It's just Adam Lampier controversy. You'll find it. Anyway, one of his favorite games is Deception, Murder in Hong Kong. You know, so like we've sent him some promos and stuff, and he's done coverage for us. And I've exchanged a few emails back and forth, and we've discussed wrestling back and forth a few times too. So I mean, it's just kind of like he seems like a really nice guy with maybe some made some bad choices, so at
We all
one
have.
point.
This is going to be Forrest's next video. But go ahead, Lance. What are you saying?
Yeah. Well, no, it's like
Let's pull
Old
up
news,
the
old
initials before he
news.
goes too down into Fortis rabbit
No,
hole.
I do think that no, I mean it's that Norwell's barred, so they've got they've got real people. I mean, like they have like employees. They don't.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody's editing. They're not editing their own stuff there. Somebody else is stepping in and taking care of
Is
it.
Man versus Meeple up there still?
Man versus Evil still up there. Well, I think anything over 40, right, is
Yeah,
still
probably.
big.
Yeah.
I mean, Quackalope is still around. So I mean,
Is he?
yeah, he's still got his following.
Yeah.
You're making a little chunk of cash there if you're up to 40K subscribers. I mean, like you're at least making over 10 grand easy, if not more. 10 to
That does-
20.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a chunk. That's a chunk.
A lot of work, though. I'll say this: that's a lot of work for 10 grand.
But
You
it's also the idea that it could become more. You've
Well,
already
yeah.
got that snowball going down the hill. You feel the momentum, as long as you
Yeah.
don't shoot yourself in the foot.
Which often
As long
happens.
as long as you don't try to,
Mhm.
as long as you have a publisher say that you tried to blackmail them.
Yeah. Or you don't go away for child
Lance.
stuff. Yeah.
I said it when we talked about it that whole night. I said I thought he got a bad deal. I thought he got a bad shake on that one.
I think he got appropriate shake.
I don't
He got a
know.
bad shake. It was it didn't help that there were a lot of people that were handing out the shovels. that just like it's just
That's
there's
the industry now.
nothing tastes better than eating one of your own,
Yeah.
so it's just like there were a lot of people just waiting in line, and I just yeah, what are you gonna do?
Oh, he's asking for nude pics. Whatevs.
Well,
It's not that juicy. Well, I'm keep reading.
yeah, keep reading it. It got a little dicey, and then they just cut him free immediately, and he left to go. But no, I mean, he and he vanished for like a year. He just vanished for a year, and then he just kind of slowly he tested the waters very carefully by being a guest on one thing and a guest on another thing, and nobody lost their minds. And then he was like, "Okay, I'm back," and nobody cared. So,
And the cycle continues.
well, no, I mean, it's just like there isn't a person alive that can't say that, like, oh, like I've always said, it's just like everybody's done something incredibly dumb or
Especially that Evan
stupid
person.
or rude or awful. The thing is that either nobody knows about it, or the people that do know about it have as much to lose or don't want to say anything about it, right? So it's just like everybody's got something awful that if everybody knew that about them, they would say, ew, I mean, I don't think it's just the way the world works. It's just, unfortunately, it's just certain times people, it just happens, right? I mean, it just, and it comes to light, and sometimes
It's foreshadowing. Sometimes it's not.
They weren't underage. I think if they were underage, it'd be a whole different ball game. But
if he was underage, yeah,
Be
sure.
over.
Definitely, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
Maybe like that
gotta.
other guy with the beagle obsession. I forget his name, Nick or something. The guy in Florida.
Oh yeah. The what's his name? Oh yeah.
I'm a stoner. I can't remember that far back. But,
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I got a fun thing from my last week. So I send out an invite for my game night every Wednesday night. And it's just a big group message. And I say every week, pretty much the same thing. Hey, hey, game night tonight, 7. Let me know if you're down. That's pretty much it. So I've been trying to broaden it out because we've gotten down to like 3 or 4 regular people. And it's like, it's always nice when you hit 6, then you can get 2 games going, 3 and 3.
Yeah.
So I went on Reddit Fort Wayne, because I had good success there, and I had 3
For
or 4 people
what?
for games for people to come to the game night.
And
You know?
Tinder.
So I added these 4 people to the
Evan,
group
don't do it.
chat, right? And so my buddy Ronnie said, "Yes, sir." You know, then somebody said, "We'll need a ride home at the end, and to get picked up at the nearest Meijer, but we're up for it. I even got some board games myself I could bring with them." And I said, "I've got family time before, no can do." And then somebody else said, "I'm not going to make it." And then somebody said, "I need to know for surety by 4:30 to take off for getting the bus." And then my buddy said, "Adam said I'm in." And then this guy said, "Well, no response, so I'm guessing not." "Yep, nope. I'm new to this chat. LO. Would anyone be able to help me out labeling with names? I tell you what, just take me off your list. You ain't that good in my book when you don't start shit, but don't really talk to anyone." And so this is in a group chat with 15 people. Like nobody knows this person. I don't even know this person. It's just like some rando off Reddit. And then my buddy Adam said, "I'll be riding my bicycle, so no way I could give you a ride." Yeah, we definitely ain't going anyway. And then so I love stirring the pot a little bit. I was trying to
Nah, not you.
well, no. At this point, I was trying to save the situation. I said, "Start shit. How do you figure?" You know, because I literally said I got family time before. Plus, I'm not picking up a fucking rando from Myers. You know, and they said, "The fact you ain't said shit till now F off and take me off your goddamn list." But because I have an iPhone, I can't just remove them from the group chat, you know. And so, and then Ronnie, my buddy, said, "I got room for one on the back of my bike if anyone wants the bitch seat." Because he messaged me, he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna start messing with this guy." I was like, okay. And then I said, "I guess the part where I've got family time before, you didn't read that or something." "No, can't do." Must have said, he said. And then Ronnie was like, "Oh, I got that text at 3:27 p.m. And then at this point, I said the plot thickens. I was poking him a little bit. And then he screamed, "Take me off your effing list." And then I really was like, all right, we're going to have some fun here, because I actually had 2 people who reached out to me, are like, "Hey, do you know who this is?" I was like, "No." And then I put new phone, who dis? And they said, "None of your effing business." And then somebody else said, "Dude, just calm down and block the numbers. Invest in anger management therapy, for F's sake." That's one of the other newer people from Reddit. And then, "Keep texting me and I'll be an effing asshole every goddamn time." And then I sincerely hope you do. I just got into a fight with my wife over tuna casserole, and this is brightening my day. And then I sent him a picture. I sent him a picture of the tuna casserole, which was like the big. And then my buddy Ronnie said, "What kind of games did you have? I've been looking to play a game of Terraforming Mars. If you have that one, maybe we could have a game day at the bus station and not in my forest." And then somebody else, one of the other newer people from Reddit, said, "Block the damn number, you effing dipstick." And then he said, "F you, jackass. I don't want to do shit with you. F off, F off, F off, F off, F off." And then my buddy Flanny, who literally has not been to my game night for like 3 years, but we're still good friends, you know, like one of those people. It's just whatever. He said, "Corn and the tuna casserole, you're a genius for us." So like everybody was jumping in on this. And then he just went F off, F off, F off, F off, F off. And then my buddy Jack, who's actually a very passive person, like super passive, he said, "No, you." This is the first time he's chimed in with this guy. And then it's just like F off, 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 F off. And then I felt bad because one guy was like, "Hey, I'm trying to sleep here." And then my buddy Ronnie, who's really like, he's like, are you okay if I just keep poking this guy? And I was like, "Oh yeah, have at it." He said, "You don't know. You know what? I don't want to play Terraforming Mars with you anymore. If your friend is still free though, let me know." And then he just went off on me for like a bunch of stuff, but it was fun. And then he just F off, F off, F off, F off, F off. And it was good times. It was really fun.
For you.
There ended up being like 5 people who just were like dunking on this guy. And then the funniest part was another person on my game day who's how do I put this? They have a very hard time connecting with the opposite sex, and they really want to. Message was like, "Hey, do you know if that's a woman or a guy?" Like they were like seriously like, maybe I'll pick him up. It was good. It was good times, good fun times, good clean fun. And I thought I was this close to inviting them to my game day again this week, but I didn't want to ruin it for the person that was sleeping, because I felt bad for them.
So I forgot about, I was going to tell you about this, guys, and then we'll probably wrap up for the night. But so I was sitting at my desk on Tuesday, and middle of the afternoon, all of a sudden, I get a text message. Now, my phone, when I got my phone, it has an area code of being in North Dakota because I got my phone in North Dakota. I live in Minnesota now. And so what people end up doing is they get that area code, and then they use a little bit of data mining, like, oh, you live in North Dakota, so now I'm going to open up, like, my fake text message is going to, like, try to get, I'm going to try to scam you. And usually somebody does this, contacts me, I just block the number and move on. But I was, like, feeling mischievous, I guess. But,
That's the way to do it.
yeah. So
Pick it up.
I get a text message. Maria! ! Are you back in North Dakota? You can forget your troubles when you are busy, but you cannot forget your friendship. Mina, message, written out, smiley face. So I was like, what the hell is this? I was like, I did block it. I said, sadly, no. I am still stuck in Canada after my passport was stolen and my diabetes medication ran out.
Oh.
Can you send me some cash to buy more medicine? You can.
Did you?
No, I said this to them.
Oh,
You send me some cash
Oh.
to buy me some medicine. You can Venmo my friend. So, like, I figured they were going to give up. Next response said, when did you go to Canada? Why didn't you tell me? I was like, all right.
Oh,
all right.
Lance is fucking with an old lady at
You're
home.
playing
Is he
along, you're playing along. It was a trip that was totally spur of the moment for myself and Ulysses. We had a wonderful time hiking and making new friends, but now I am stuck across the border. Can you send me that money? Ulysses? ? I said, it's like, didn't I tell you I'm in several polyamorous relationships? He's my most recent boyfriend. It's just been too long since we talked. I have to go to the U.S. Embassy soon. Can you please send me that money? With it, hopefully I can get across the border. And then they responded, you're married to Trump? I was like, okay, this has got to be an AI or something. And I said, no, but I have emailed him constantly and he doesn't respond. Can you get a hold of him for me? And then they gave up. I was sad. I had him on the string for a little while, and then they gave up. But I already looked when there was a name.
Very true. That's not why I don't-
yeah. I'm a big fan of picking up those numbers I don't know when I think they're spam calls, and just being like as soon as they say something, be like, "Is this Greg? Greg?" For whatever reason, I'm such a coward. I always pretend like I have an old lady voice. And then just whenever they start talking, I just start spewing incoherent bullshit until they realize I'm trying to waste their time. It's one of the highlights of my day when I get those calls.
I don't know. It's fun to.
I suggest finding a hobby for ours. Another
have
one.
several.
Recording those calls, that should be the hobby, damn it.
Actually, post those.
I posted a video today from the shower about my number one. My top
Is this
two.
on your real channel or your
geez.
I'm wet and talking about music channel?
No. This is YouTube Shorts, so it doesn't count as anything. But no, I was like, I should tell people my tricks to help them, take a cold shower easier. Because a lot of people like to do it. It's got a lot of health benefits, but it's hard to do. Here's the trick: you start shaving it. Well, because it's really cold.
I've taken a cold shower. It's not hard to do.
Yeah, but it's hard to get used to doing it on a regular basis. You shave your nipple. I shave my nipple. And then, I swear to God, try it. Just shave your nipple and your brain will be so focused on not, cutting off your nipple that it doesn't even feel that cold.
What the hell is wrong with you?
All right, Forrest, get some hobbies that aren't as strange as the one you have now, is what I should say.
Hey, Lance, I was scratching a lottery ticket. It's a life hack. It is potentially an evergreen YouTube short that'll bring in tons of people who might be interested in board games.
I don't
Or-
think they'll be
or
interested in
your
board
nipples.
gaming watching
be-
you
it
shave
could be
your
your
nipple in the
nipples, yeah.
shower.
You don't actually see my nipple at all. It was tastefully done.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all dick. That's just
I-
no
Art.
You stun me in so many different ways.
I'm telling you, try it out. Makes it way easier to hop in that cold
I have
shower.
no interest in taking a cold shower, so I don't need to.
Well, when you do,
Lance, this is exactly how the first Alaboom I thought. This is like exactly what I thought it would be.
yeah.
Well, it helps. It helps that Forrest is here. He is our,
Yeah.
he is our resident stay-at-home dad and professional. I don't know, life drifter. I guess would be the best way to put it. I
What's
don't know.
next for? Is it a sauna? Punch your nuts so you don't feel the heat? What? I don't know. I don't
And how is that
Does
a
that
life
work?
hack?
how's it a life hack? Because it's kind of hard to get used to the cold showers. You know?
No.
Okay. Well, why's it got 700 views on the first day, Lance?
There you go.
Riddle me that.
Because
There you go.
is it titled "Shave Your Nipples in the Cold Shower"?
The bearded what's his face? You know, he's not getting numbers like that. You got to branch out of board games, start talking about general interest stuff, and you lure him in.
Genital interest?
Yeah, general. That's what I heard.
You
So
guys saw
all
that-
he just said, have you guys seen the Nair video? Kevin
Oh,
Leonardo
I
Nair
have not,
video.
but I've heard
No.
about it, how it blew up. Hopefully,
Watch
he's
it.
monetizing that. If you watch it, I've heard that it is just full butthole, like immediately. So
I don't need to watch some other dude's butthole. I'm sorry.
What?
Are you
How could that be
sure?
on YouTube?
because it calls under the educational category. There's a very specific educational category that where you can have nudity on YouTube as long as it is deemed educational.
Okay.
Oh,
Maybe I
Why
should have
would I
shown my
want to
nipple.
watch a guy use Nair on his butthole?
Because maybe you don't. How do you do it, Lance? Huh?
Well,
That's
I'm
just
never
going to
going
pants.
to, and I don't have any interest in ever doing it, and I don't need to learn how to do something that doesn't. No.
There
Why am
it
I even
is.
having this fucking conversation?
There it is. There
Sounds
because
like-
it's forest.
You're not the target market. I didn't bring up the Nair guy. I just know of it.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's Scott, that son of a bitch. From the chat, he's edging Forrest on.
Goodness.
Well, you, yeah, I guess, cool. I don't even know what to say.
You left him speechless, Forrest.
No, because it's just insanity. So,
Well, you don't want him to shave your nipple in the shower. Lance. Come
I
on.
don't.
I
Tell me
also
what-
give another tip for if you don't have nipple hair. So I got everybody covered. Equal opportunity.
Okay.
equal opportunity. Yeah. Okay. Well, does anybody have any grievances before we sign off for the night?
Dang.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't had anything annoying happen to me in the last week. Well, no, other than
Wow,
like,
that's surprising.
well, no, I mean the dishwasher thing with the water, that's annoying, you know.
Yeah, it's a pretty big one.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
sucks, man. I saw that
But-
post.
Well, I mean, oh well, you know what they're gonna.
Yeah,
I
I mean, it is
mean,
what it
I mean,
is.
tomorrow there's gonna be somebody coming in that's gonna check to make sure that, like, you know, they're gonna see how much damage was done and whether or not the subfloor needs to be replaced. And but I mean, you know, we got insurance, so it'll just be annoying, right? You know, I mean,
Yeah.
it'll just be a giant pain in the tuchus, and you know, we'll have new floor upstairs that will pay a fraction of the price to have done. So,
Yes, that's true.
you know, but still,
What to say?
I'm more annoyed at the idea of, like, I have to move all the stuff out of the top floor. You know, like get the
Time to
table
get
out,
rid of shit.
get the table out of it, get the chairs, you know, all that stuff, just getting it all out and then having to reset it all back up and everything. I'm not a fan. Not a fan. But yeah. No, nobody's got agreements. Nobody had to wait in line, was annoyed, got the wrong stuff on their pizza.
Life's been pretty good.
Yeah.
Tell me,
Lord Javi says, I got agreements. Tuna fucking casserole.
Oh yeah, yeah. So
Did you make
I
the
w-
tuna casserole, Dad?
here's the thing. Here's
That's
the
just
thing.
disgusting.
My wife has informed me many times she
wife.
hates hamburger helper. Hamburger helper.
I'm
Hates
with her, but
despises it.
I don't see how the
Right?
tuna comes in play.
So I bought tuna helper, and she's like, it's the same damn thing. I said, no, it's not.
This is
And
hot
this-
fish.
It was a big argument. And still it's sitting in the fridge because nobody else will eat it. Because of course the boys are like, we don't want it. So it's just me
I don't
and
blame them.
me and the
It's just
15-month-old, the only one eating it.
So you
They don't know any
you
better.
can't admit she was right. Is what you're saying.
It's tuna helper versus hamburger helper. They're different things.
Yeah, but maybe they both.
There's a
suck.
third option. Neither.
Maybe they both suck.
They do.
It did kind of. I mean, it wasn't great. It wasn't great.
Yeah, it was great.
I put the corn
But
in.
you ate it out of spite, didn't you?
I'm gonna eat that whole fucking container.
He's
I still got a
full-
giant Tupperware full
He's
of
gonna
them
be
munch
eating
on.
with a ton of ketchup on it soon to cover the taste, just cause.
Until I see the mold on that bad boy, I'm eating it.
That's
So you probably didn't even want it, but you ate it just because.
Well, the problem is I put the corn in too early and it got mushy, whereas I should have put it in late so it
Oh,
had
the
the
corn's
crunch.
the problem, man.
Nobody likes mushy corn.
The way I did the corn was the problem. I think it needs a little crunch. You need a little extra texture with the mushiness and the noodles and the tuna.
Fars.
Well, I don't know why. I mean, you're a very odd fellow, Forrest.
Nah.
I mean, I don't get you on most days, and
Yes.
tuna casserole sounds horrible. The idea of warm tuna bothers me. Is that weird?
Warm
It's-
canned
It's
tuna.
not weird. You get to like what you like, man. I don't mind
Yeah.
warm tuna, but you don't have to like it. It's okay.
I mean, for me, like a tuna fish sandwich is
Mm.
tuna and mayo on toast,
It's good.
right?
You don't put any relish in it? No
No,
mustard?
Cheese.
no,
Now all
no.
you gotta do is throw it in the oven and add some noodles, and you got what a casserole.
I like it on
No.
bagels. I like it on bagels. I think tuna's real good on bagel.
Tuna,
Nice.
mayo, and toast.
I
I
can
mean,
see
that's
that.
just it's hard to screw that up. But what do I know? I don't know.
There's a reason I don't cook much.
That would be it.
Wait a minute, aren't you the stay-at-home dad? You don't cook much?
No. There's a reason I don't cook much for my wife. Let me rephrase that.
Okay. So let me
Everybody
just
else
say,
in the house
you make
likes my
her
cooking.
you make her make all the money and work, but then you won't cook anything for her.
No, she didn't like when I cook. I tried.
Well,
I've tried
could-
so many times.
Because she's been out of college for over a decade.
You can cook what she likes. She could say, I would really like this. And then you could cook that for them.
Well, she told me she didn't like hamburger helper, so I made tuna helper. She loves tuna.
So my understanding, if I'm understanding what happened, your wife went to work, you stayed home, you made a video of yourself shaving your nipple in the shower.
These are all different days. These were different days.
One same day.
Eventually, you came home, or your wife came home. Sorry.
No, she works from home now. I got her hooked up upstairs. We got the whole rig.
Well, I thought she worked at where does your wife work now?
She works for a hospital doing some billing stuff, but yeah, she's been working from home for like the last 4 months, 3 months.
Oh, good for her. Good for her. All right, so she comes downstairs, and I met your wife. She's a lovely lady. She's a nice
Huge helping of tuna. I made 2 boxes. I doubled the recipe.
Oh, it's getting gourmet.
woman. So if you're gonna screw up, you might as well hammer
Double.
down.
Well, she always complains there's no leftovers, so it's like, I'm gonna make leftovers. Well, plenty.
Are you mean? Did you ask her? Did you say, "Hey, I'm gonna make tuna helper instead of hamburger helper"? Does that sound good?
No,
No, because why would you communicate? Why wouldn't you just text your wife?
They're
and
different
say,
foods. They're different things.
even how long have you been married to your wife?
10-ish years.
She's a
10
saint.
years.
10, 11. I think we're 10, 11, somewhere in there.
Oh, my
Say-
goodness.
So my wife and I have been together for 16 years, married for nearly 13. I'm smart enough to know that unless I'm cooking something that I know she likes, I send the text. I was thinking this for dinner. What do you think? Question mark. And if I don't hear anything, I just go with one of the standards that I know is going to go over okay. Fry up some hamburger, make a Caesar salad like I did today. I made Caesar salads for lunch for us.
That was the other thing. She was also upset about the salad I made because I actually had salad with the meal, but it was just lettuce and cheese. She said that's not a salad.
That is not a salad. That is
It's a burger topping.
I eat chopped lettuce, nothing but it.
Chop liver.
So what did your wife have for dinner then? After you failed her miserably.
She what did she have? She
Why
went
would you
upstairs.
make
She
two
was-
boxes of it if your sons aren't going to eat it? And it's just
Well,
gonna be
they
you
like
and
tuna. I thought they'd eat it. I thought it was going to be good because I love hamburger helper. I assumed tuna helper was equally as good.
Tuna helper
Assumed
is
wrong.
garbage. I can't even imagine how bad your kitchen smelled.
Yeah, I would rate it about a 6.2. That's what I would rate
On a rating of 6.3
on 10.
out of 10 out of 100. A
Wasn't great.
6.2.
It wasn't good. Well, I mean, it was edible. Lesson learned. Even though there are still 2 more boxes of tuna helper.
Oh, so now you got to eat 2
So
more
what-
boxes.
That next time you're at the grocery store, you drop that off at the Goodwill thing. There you go. Somebody can have this. This
It was
is-
on clearance at Kroger, so I wanted to stock up.
No way.
You sound like my wife, man. No, Jesus.
Yeah, I got. It doesn't matter what a clearance. It's
Ugh.
shit. It's still shit.
It was
Doesn't
57
matter.
cents a box. Come on.
Chad will do that. She knows I don't ground beef in general. Like I'm down to cheeseburgers and chili with ground beef, but it's like she got this thing with sloppy joes. I told her I don't like sloppy joes. I had it a ton as a kid. It's something I do not want her to go back to. I haven't eaten one in 20 years. I'd like to keep it that way. So she made sloppy joes.
Sloppy Joe. Sloppy
Sloppy
Joe.
Joe.
And then she gets upset when I have like a little bit of it. It's like, yeah, I don't need this in my life again.
I'm not a sloppy Joe fan either. I get it.
So here's Aldi said, what defines a salad? I would say, and you could
More
you
than
could-
cheese and lettuce.
No, I would say lettuce.
Done. That's all I need.
No, I would say
And dressing.
it would be lettuce, a protein of some sort, be it eggs,
Not necessarily.
chicken, even bacon. I would say even like if you put bacon in it.
Do you
Like,
need protein if protein's already going to be in the main?
I don't think you need
Like
protein
tuna
in a salad
casserole?
myself.
this is my opinion. You guys can have.
I'm
your
just
opinion.
curious. I was
I'm
asking.
saying
And
lettuce.
I wouldn't consider tuna casserole protein.
A protein of some sort. Cheese. Another veggie, be it maybe some grape tomatoes, perhaps some cucumbers, carrot strings, things like that. And then dressing of choice, and then of course croutons, or maybe like some
Jesus.
sunflower seeds or something.
This is dolling up this thing, man.
We went from one extreme to the other on this.
All
one.
I need is chopped up lettuce. You put a little dressing in there, boom. Something. My wife thinks I'm weird. I'll just chop up a head of lettuce in a big Tupperware container, dump some ranch on there, shake it up, and I'll eat that for lunch.
I don't think that's the only reason she thinks you're weird.
One of
I
many.
am a little stoned, but I could be wrong. Yeah.
What do you think,
Yeah.
Evan? What's the minimum amount of stuff to call it a salad?
I mean, lettuce and one other vegetable, maybe.
Okay.
I'm
Or
going with
fruit.
at least 2 other vegetables. But
I mean,
yeah.
I went over I used to have a friend who I'd go over to his house, and they would make what they called a salad, and it was basically lettuce with lemon juice. So, I don't know.
Yeah, it's lettuce and dressing.
That sounds hideous.
Yeah. T-shirt.
If I wanted to, it's like I would say, yeah, you got some grass clippings you want to feed me? I mean, I
It
no.
wasn't. What are you gonna do?
Not eat it. If somebody invited me over for a meal and they said, "Yeah, we're gonna have a salad," and they tried to give me that, I'd be like, "Please, please lose my phone number." I would leave.
I guess different folks, different strokes. I
Yeah.
read it. I used to know these Indian guys who were like straight from India, and they had what people would consider garden salad. They said that's disgusting. I never ate something like that in my life. They considered they had a salad. I can't remember exactly what it was. I don't think it was like the Mediterranean salad with the cucumbers and onions chopped up real fine and vinegars, but it was something similar, I believe. So I guess it's just where you're from. I don't think most Americans consider lettuce and cheese a salad, but to each their own.
Never really thought about it before my wife brought it up.
Yeah, I guess it's what you grew up with. Some people grew up with tuna casserole. Some people
Sloppy Joe.
Sloppy Joe. All right, that's enough of this.
I had sloppy joes tonight. I'm just gonna say.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Hey, to each their own, like I said, it was overkill as a kid.
I figured Eric was like in some big spreadsheet, trying to figure out shipping or something like that. And then we were all talking and like he wasn't paying attention, but he's over there like, I had sloppy Joe.
No, I
I
had
thought he
sloppy
was
joe
all
and a
hooky.
Hawaiian roll bun. That was good stuff.
Oh, that does sound good.
Hawaiian
Oh, yeah.
I
I
thought
like
he
a
was
good
all
sloppy
hoity-toity.
Joe. I like a good sloppy Joe. I mean, it's just isn't that the manwich? That was like that, isn't that the thing?
That's
where
the
it's-
brand she
That
bought.
was a thing. That was a thing.
That's what my grandmother used to shove down my throat when a kid. Yeah.
No, that manwich stuff is good. What are you talking about?
Yeah, okay.
And
say
just
so.
no, I mean that's
It's tuna casserole to me.
throw in a crock pot, come back, a few hours later, get a meal.
I'd rather throw some chili powder, just have chili. Yeah. Get rid of that ketchup.
I guess you got me. All right. So everybody, if you're interested in the Isoparian Guard, which you should be because the game's freaking amazing, go to GameFound and become another person, add the 6,000 or so that are waiting for that to launch September 5th, right, Eric?
September 5th, little under
We-
2 months.
When we get closer, we'll have to have you on again. You can listen. Maybe Forrest will have lost a nipple by then. And we can see how things are going.
Next week's the Brazilian.
And just so you
wax.
know, that is not a airplane
Not
pillow
a challenge.
that he's got. That is a nursing pillow. That is.
What's the difference? What's the difference?
Your wife needs one.
They both do the job.
We can all virtually
Get the
share.
fucking job done.
It's the fucking job done.
I just don't. Why do you wear that? I don't understand why you wear that.
It makes my neck feel comfortable.
How? What does it
'Cause
do?
It's a pillow on your neck. Why is this such a hard concept to you, man?
I just don't understand why having a like you look like it's like you were in some accident and now this is your neck brace that you're like.
I got some neck problems. I headbanged way too hard and it really jacked my neck up, and I feel it now. Like
When?
legitimately. All through my early 20s, when I used to pretty much just live at bars and try and prove how badass I was by slamming my wet, sweaty hair on anyone nearby. It used to be a defense mechanism, like because we had this all like the bar where it was like general admission. They had all these big concerts, Pierre's. And I went to like over 100 concerts there, like big stuff, like big concerts there. And that used to be the strategy. I'd just rock my hair as hard as I could and be all sweaty. And I'd like create like this little clear space around me because people got so sick and fucking tired of me just whacking them with my sweaty hair. Plus, it was like, I just thought it used to look awesome.
Your logic still intrigues me. It really
Yeah, but I feel it now. I feel it now nowadays on my neck.
I bet, man.
does.
I bet.
I can honestly say I am really glad you're my friend, Forrest.
Likewise, Lance. I don't think I'd know anybody in the industry if it wasn't for the Alaboom. I don't talk to anybody at conventions.
All right, everybody. Aldi, I hope you feel better soon, man. Get lots of
Yeah.
rest. That COVID
Yes.
stuff, that's
Oof.
fucking horrible.
Oh, damn. You picked up
Uh,
COVID in Alaska?
Yeah. From a whale. You was smooching a whale.
Yeah. Classic.
Yeah, I've heard that's how it started.
No, that's how it
actually.
started. Yeah.
Classic.
This guy's
well, really?
this guy's smooching
Yeah.
baleen whales in
Jagged
the
whales.
Pacific Northwest.
You just got
Yeah.
this video demonetized, Lance. Good job.
All right, everybody, be well. Eric, thanks for joining us. Come back anytime
sure.
you
Good
want.
times.
Yeah, boys. Just next week we'll be back into, and Aldi will be here to talk whale stories if he's feeling well. So yeah, he was up. And I wanted to hear about BGGC. I wanted to see how it went. So
Yeah.
I know. I
It's a
guess.
whale of a tail.